My husband gets angry when I read at home and accuses me of ignoring him.
Well, are you?
I enjoy reading books, but my husband feels that it is rude for me to read when we're both home because I'm ignoring him. To be clear, this does not happen in excess by anyone's definition. I have read a maximum of 5 entire books since we got together a decade ago, primarily to avoid upsetting him. We have very similar work schedules. By the way, this comes from user wannabe AITA. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Keon.
And we're here to give some good advice goofily. We don't have all the answers. We just know what we know. So let us know what you know down in the comments. And OP says, recently I bought a book that was the first in a series of 3, and it started this argument to a higher degree than usual because of the fact that it is a series. I've considered going to a cafe and reading in my car, but that seems like a waste of gas when I could just read at home where it's more comfortable anyway. But doing so requires that I tell him I'm about to start reading in the study or bedroom, etc., and that I expect not to be interrupted for the next 30 minutes to an hour, which is what I intend to do if the results here favor me. Though this will absolutely upset him because he approaches me for comment or to tell stories every 10 or 15 minutes on average. So am I the a-hole? No, it sounds like your husband's like wickedly codependent.
Or just like wants attention 24/7, which is also very weird.
Well, maybe we'll find some more information in
Yeah.
the comments. Lapis Lazuli says, your husband sounds like a piece of work. Read when you want. No announcements are needed. Yeah, that was another thing I caught where it's like, why do you have to inform him that you're like going to go read? Like, what do you have to inform him about everything that you do? That's not good. Put your earbuds in and stay there for white noise, not the a-hole. Compensate 1995 says, not the a-hole, depriving you from doing something that you love is notably controlling and restrictive. Doesn't he have things that he likes to do by himself? If the answer is positive, that is the epitome of hypocrisy. Is there any chance that he's jealous of you, that you can read and comprehend books and also enjoy it? You have to find the roots of the problem to tell you precisely what bothers him in your reading so you can solve this. You don't need to abstain from reading books. That is a wonderful habit and hobby. Passively repressed replies, it's likely that he does this with anything she enjoys that isn't about or with him. My ex did this to me. He told me that I was wasting my time, but had zero issues forcing me to watch him play PlayStation for hours on end. This is a massive red flag. Antravera says, shamelessly jumping to the top comment here, sorry not sorry, some of my favorite times in life are when my wife and I are curled up on our sofa together with us both reading, or one on the phone, or a game, or something like that. We can go a couple of hours without even talking to each other, just content in each other's company. What is wrong with your husband that he can't do the same? OP, you are not the a-hole. I've read in excess of 1,000 books in the decade I've been with my wife. Your husband needs to chill out and let you enjoy a book, and you need to tell him that. If you enjoy the series, you can read the whole lot in a week if you want. If the silence bothers him and you are engrossed in a good bit, then he can go for a walk or meet some friends or even put on a film. Feisty Asaurian says, my wife and I call it being companionable. We're near each other, spending time together, but each doing what we'd like to be doing. There's an edit here from OP. And yeah, I agree with all those comments.
Yeah. No, this is like a genuine thing for relationships, is to have do what you do. You can do it with your companion, without your companion. Do what you love.
Yeah.
If you like gaming, you like reading, you like going to the movies, whatever it is, if it's with a hobby, you don't need your partner there 24/7.
No.
Or if you want him in your space, at least, you don't need like full attention from your partner, or vice versa, 24/7.
Yeah. It's a troubling sign. Edit. Wow, I got a ton of feedback. This will take a while to read, and I'm sure I can't respond to everything. So I'll add a few things here. He does the same thing with headphones, but aside from expecting me to be available for immediate comment, he is not harmful in any way. I have friends that I see regularly. I can choose to leave the house without question. I have full access to my financial accounts. I make semi-substantial financial choices, like a weekend getaway with friends or buying a new office desk without permission or guilt. This does not involve yelling, but there are guilt trips. They're framed just as what I have expressed here, that he feels ignored and that it's rude. He works totally alone, and I do think that is a source of his understandable need for lots of evening and weekend interaction. I just feel this request is an inappropriate expression of that need. No, he doesn't have many friends, just one, really. Otherwise, it's mostly just my family that he spends time with. His doesn't live nearby, but he gets along really well with mine, and they all genuinely enjoy each other's company. Yes, we have pets. Yes, he has hobbies, but they're easy for him to pick up and put down without notice. Lots of household projects, carpentry, etc. No, he does not like to watch sports or play video games. We both already have therapists who we have seen bi-weekly for years. It's mainly been individual therapy aside from an approximately 6-month period of couples therapy during a time of crisis in 2019. Yes, he is able to read, but he has some mild insecurities about his intellectual abilities. Oh, is that really all it is? He's like, if you read too much, you'll get too smart because I'm not smart enough for you, so you can't read.
He's also just a little like lonely. He only has one true friend, it seems like. He hangs out with your family. He works from home. This guy is just lonely.
Yeah, I mean,
In a sense.
regardless, he should be able to give you 30 minutes to an hour of silence so you can read. That's crazy.
And he throws a fit or like gets all huffy and puffy to just get 30 minutes to an hour to read a book?
That's crazy. So there's an update here. After some input here, I read for about 90 minutes in the bedroom last night. He was watching some TV, and he did ask, "You don't want to hang out with me?" I said he was welcome to put in headphones and come join me. He said, "Nah," and continued to watch TV. It has me wondering if maybe he saw some of the responses to this thread because it was unusual. And by the way, we have an unusually large amount of full episodes with stories like this that you can listen to on your favorite podcast platforms like iHeartRadio, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. All you got to do is search OK Storytime. And we've got a little bit more story here. I truly don't understand why he wouldn't just say, okay, and put headphones in and watch whatever he was watching next to you. Like, I don't get it.
I mean, again, sometimes people don't want, just want to have their own alone time and alone space, and that's okay. I think this needs to be communicated to him, and you need to talk to him genuinely and be like, I need alone time.
Yeah.
I love you. It's just like, I need alone time, and it's like we're 30 minutes to an hour where I'm in the study or just reading my book, and it shouldn't bother you that much. And then you can ask him, why is it bothering you so much? Why does it make you feel like you have to get upset or you need my attention in that specific time frame of 30 minutes to an hour when I read my book? Yeah. Why do you do that? You can do it after that, when I read a chapter or 2 or 3, but why in that time frame?
Just like, I'm not going to disappear. I will be here. I just want time to read.
I'm not going to disappear in the book. It's not like Narnia.
That was a wardrobe.
That was a wardrobe. I take it back. Which is the one it's the never-ending story.
Which it does have an ending, funny enough.
Not for the people in the book.
Well.
Maybe for the horse.
Well, let's finish this. Nevertheless, it went well. I plan to make this part of my Sunday and Wednesday evening routine until I can trust myself to be more casual about it without giving it up again. To 85% of you, thanks so much. To the other 15, yikes. But such is the internet. What a neat resource. I would have never known if this was really the norm or how other people read for pleasure in their private households without this tidal wave of input. Thanks for these small glimpses into your homes and lives. It's funny what parts of our routines are silently, unintentionally intimate. And that is the end of that story.
My brother-in-law uninvited my wife to the wedding, so I stole her gift back.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't want me at the wedding, I don't need to give you a gift then, right?
My wife, Lena, crochets a lot and often gifts it to friends and family. When her second oldest brother got married, she made the bride a shawl to wear over her dress in the evening. The bride loved it, and ever since, Lena has made shawls for everyone in her family getting married. By the way, this comes from Wedding Shawl, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, now Lena's oldest brother, George, is getting married again. Lena doesn't have a relationship with George as he was awful to her as a child, but if she has to see him, then she is polite but distant with him. She doesn't want to cut off the rest of her family because of George. I work with George, and while we aren't friends, we are friendly at work. Lena encouraged this. When George got moved to my team, I was going to request a transfer, not wanting to expose Lena to George, as my team do a lot of get-togethers with our significant others. As it is a family wedding, Lena's mom asked her if she could crochet a shawl for George's fiancé. And Lena agreed. Oh. It was arranged that once it was finished, I would take it to work to give it to George so that Lena didn't have to see him. I don't know if I would agree to make a shawl if I really did not get along with this person and I couldn't even give them the present.
Yeah, like get some sort of credit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. Maybe her perspective is like, oh, like I'm doing this for this person so that like they can give this as a gift or something like that. But yeah. It'd just be weird.
Earlier this week, the shawl was completed, and I emailed George at work to let him know that I would bring it in today, as the wedding is tomorrow. When I got into work this morning, I gave George the shawl and let him know that Lena and I were looking forward to the wedding. Come lunchtime, Lena called me to let me know that George's fiance had called her and told her that she was no longer invited to the wedding.
What?
Citing the place they're having the wedding and the reception at is too small for the number they have coming. So they're having to make cutbacks. However,
I had to lay you off. Sorry.
However, I was still invited to the wedding.
Oh my gosh.
Crazy. Yeah, no, you're not getting a shawl.
No.
You're not getting a shawl. We're saving that for someone else. Next wedding. That's ridiculous.
Sorry, like I'm sorry, my schedule is too small to make this for you.
Yeah, my shawl can't make it to the wedding either.
Yeah.
I was mad at this because they clearly only invited Lena to get a shawl, which to me is just rude. Yeah.
Yeah.
If they had asked Lena outright to make one, she probably would have done it because she loves to crochet. On my way out of work, I noticed George wasn't at his desk, but the shawl was.
Perfect timing.
I was still mad that they had used Lena to get a shawl, and I just shoved it in my work bag.
There you go.
I left a note on his desk telling George since Lena was no longer invited, the shawl and I would no longer be attending either.
Boom.
On my way home, I told Lena what I had done and asked her if she wanted to go out instead so as not to waste having a sitter. Lena was upset that I had taken the shawl as it was causing an uproar in her family group chat where people were calling her petty because I took it back. Lena wants me to give it back. I don't think I should. They don't deserve Lena's kindness. However, at the same time, I don't want Lena to be upset with me over George and a shawl. Am I the a-hole for taking back the shawl? And little edit, I have messaged the group chat letting them know that I took it. And if they should be pissed at anyone, then it should be me. But I would also do it again because no one gets to be a wiener to Lena. And there is an update.
Yeah.
But what do you think?
I think you should talk to Lena, see what she thinks about this whole situation.
Yeah.
See if she, she
seems like she wants him to give it back. And I think she made it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I don't think you're the
a-hole. It kind of didn't really I don't know if we got that perspective from Lena, right?
Yeah, he talked to her and she said, "Can you give it back? My whole family's getting mad at me."
Oh,
Yeah,
I see. I got those names mixed up.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I guess.
I think you gotta give it back just because your partner said, "Please do that," and also she made it and spent all this time.
Yeah.
However, you're not the a-hole for taking it.
Yeah.
And I would do it again too.
Right.
They suck. And they don't deserve that. So everyone will be glad to know that I have not given George back the shawl.
Nice.
I mean, part of the reason I haven't given it back is because he's on his honeymoon. I hope it has rained for the 2 weeks. But even if he wasn't, I still wouldn't give it back. Later that evening, Lena apologized for being mad at me. She said that she should have never agreed to make the shawl in the first place and was grateful I had taken it back.
There we go.
Lena and I had a long discussion about her family and how they treat her. I told her that I would always stand up for her when it comes to her family because I will stand strong when she can't.
Aw.
I asked her what she thought about going lower contact. We were already low contact with George, his now wife, and her mom. Lena said that she wanted to go no contact with George, his wife, her mom, and to go low contact with everyone else but her second oldest brother and his wife. We'll call them Michael and Sarah. She said she wanted to do this because of how toxic the group chat has become, which she has now left and has shown me that she has left and deleted the chat. We have both blocked everyone but Michael and Sarah. I'm going to wait a couple of weeks before I broach therapy for Lena again. I just want the dust to settle a bit, as I don't want her to feel pushed into anything. The story the wife gave Lena about there not being enough space was BS. Michael confirmed that George had told him weeks ago that they were well under the numbers for their venue. It was just a crap attempt at a power move.
Dang, man. Because it was also like they uninvited her from the wedding like right before the wedding.
Yeah.
Didn't they? Like she already had a sitter and like what's like why would you do that?
They just suck.
Yeah.
They suck. I know some Redditors were concerned about my work life after I took the shawl. I spoke with my manager and told him that Lena had made a shawl for George's wife, but they had given a crap reason for uninviting her to the wedding the day before the wedding, and I took it back. When I told my manager this, he sighed heavily before telling me that he wished I hadn't taken the shawl because George could make things difficult for me, but that he would have done exactly the same thing because George is a nightmare.
Well,
I told him that I'd like to move to another team because it wasn't good for Lena to have to be around him. He told me to leave it with him and he could see what he could do. I'd have moved when George was first put on my team, but Lena encouraged me not to, as she didn't want me to rock the boat with her family. I heard back on Monday that I will be getting moved to another team at the end of the week. This other team is desperate for someone, so when my manager reached out to other managers to see if anyone had an internal vacancy, this manager bit his arm off. The day of the wedding, Michael called Lena and asked what our plans had been for the day. Michael knew that Lena wasn't invited to the wedding and rightly assumed I wouldn't go if she wasn't welcome. Lena told him that we had planned to go out for dinner and drinks. Michael told her that sounded like a plan and to text him where we were going for dinner. Nice. Michael and Sarah had decided to skip the wedding after seeing the meltdown of George, his wife, and their mom in the group chat. Apparently, they continued spouting abuse at Lena even though she had left the group chat.
Oh my gosh.
When the family turned on me and our children was when Michael and Sarah decided they weren't going to the wedding at all. They were just going to go to the ceremony after Lena had been uninvited. They messaged George to tell them their flight had been delayed and they wouldn't be able to make it. Their flight wasn't delayed, it was just the excuse they used, and George never responded. Michael had seen George's abuse of Lena firsthand. He had tried to protect Lena where he could, but there was only so much he could do as a child himself, and he didn't want to be on the receiving end of George's temper either. As an adult, he took the first chance he had to move away from his family while only maintaining contact with Lena. So we went out with Michael and Sarah, having a much better night than we would have done at the wedding. There were no snide comments, no belittling, nothing. Lena was happy as she got to see Sarah, and that was what she was looking forward to. Lena being happy was all I wanted. It's all I ever want. My family to be happy. Aww. Hope he's just looking out for his wife.
Yeah.
This is so cute.
This is so sweet.
I love this.
Yeah, I'm glad that people understand that George is not a pleasant person
Yeah,
to
I'm
be
glad
around.
that it's not just you. Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
other people recognize that he sucks.
Right. And the boss recognizing that too is great.
Important.
Yeah.
Both Michael and Sarah's phones did keep going off all night as mother-in-law and George kept messaging them, angry at their non-attendance, especially after Michael posted a picture of the four of us together having drinks on Facebook with a caption about how he was choosing Lena over George going forward because she doesn't use people to get what they want like George did over a crochet shawl. Dang. He posted that on Facebook?
Nice.
Michael admitted to me later that he did this to anger George because he'd have a meltdown at the reception and then his in-laws could see what a butt he actually is.
Wow. That's like I get behind that scheme.
Yeah.
Usually I don't really like care for the schemes where it's just like, oh, I'm going to do this so this person reacts. But that actually like it set him up perfectly for for like, oh yeah, now you're going to have to do this in front of everyone. They'll all understand.
Man.
And it worked.
And it worked. Given the gleeful messages I got from Michael last week after he had heard back from a cousin who attended, George had a complete meltdown. Lena knows about this post, but she's not comfortable with me posting pictures of her work. She considered unraveling the shawl, but she found it too difficult to undo all her hard work, which I understand. It's the very reason I didn't unravel it myself and tell George it was an IKEA shawl. Well, that, and I didn't want to face a mad Lena. After talking with Sarah about what to do with it, she has decided that she's going to keep it, but she'll dye it.
There you go.
Michael suggested that she wears it to the family Christmas. We aren't going to see Lena's family at Christmas, so it won't be happening anyway.
That's funny.
By the way, you know what is happening? full episodes with stories just like this. And you can go listen to them on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio if you just search up OK Storytime.
Do it.
But there is a little bit left to this story. Any final thoughts?
I think this is great.
I think this is great.
This is great.
I'm very pleased about this.
Yeah. Me
You
too.
guys
I've got no notes.
you got Michael and Sarah, and that's all you need. Michael and Sarah, and you guys against the world.
You just have Michael, Sarah, and that's all.
Michael, Sarah.
That's all you need.
Michael and I are at the same level of pettiness as I had previously suggested, as some people commented on my original post, that I could wear it to work when George is back. Nice. I didn't show Lena many of the comments. She doesn't need to know that people are calling her a doormat or saying she needs to grow a spine. Those people clearly haven't had their spirit completely broken by the people who are meant to love them unconditionally, or were completely cut out of the family events. When George graduated from uni, Lena was left at home. She was 8 years old and left home alone all day. Christmas was spent mostly in her bedroom because her grandmother didn't want Lena around,
Oh my God.
as her presence would just upset George
Oh my
until she was 14. Then she would sneak out and spend it with me and my family. Lena was just left out of everything. Her dad used to work away from home a lot, so he had no idea what was going on. He just assumed Lena liked her own space. Not that she would just stay in her room because she was used to being neglected by her family. And that's the end of that story.
Wow.
Yikes.
Yeah. I'm glad that Lena has kind of stood up to her family in a
Yeah,
way
absolutely.
and has decided that she doesn't need to contact these people anymore.
No.
Because that sounds like terrible things that they did to her. So
Yeah, and props to OP
Cut her
for
off.
like, standing by her this whole time.
yeah, and that was so weird. I think I like forgot that they were married. For some reason,
Yeah.
I thought that OP was like they were just friends at first. But yeah, the fact that Lena got uninvited and he was invited.
Yeah, Lena,
Yeah,
George's sister, got
Yeah.
uninvited
yeah,
in favor of his sister's husband.
right. Like the own family
Yeah.
is not invited yet. That's just
Strange.
so insane.
Strange.
My boyfriend spent our anniversary with another girl because my ex visited my parents.
Ooh, happy anniversary.
2 weeks ago, it was me, 27 female, and my boyfriend Mark's 30 male anniversary. We've been dating for 2 years. We had plans after he finished work, but he never showed up. I tried to call and text him, but he ignored me all day and didn't contact me until after 1 a.m. He was wasted and went on a rant about how I deserved this because I shouldn't have invited Jason, my ex, to my parents' house. By the way, this comes from Throwaway Anniversary 1, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Carly,
I'm Keon.
and we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, I was pretty mad at him and told him I thought we should break up. He ended up apologizing profusely and assuring me he would never do something like that again, and he was just feeling insecure. I decided to give him a second chance. To clarify about Jason, we had an amicable breakup 3 years ago because we didn't like having a long-distance relationship while he was away for med school. My dad had a heart attack a week before my anniversary, and Jason went to see him since his mom is friends with mine. Me and Mark turned up while he was there. Jason was discussing some of the treatment options the doctor had given my dad with my mom. He left a little while later. When he left, my mom made a comment about how helpful Jason was. Mark mentioned later that he didn't like that Jason was there or what my mom said about him, but I reassured him he was there as a family friend and not an ex. He seemed to be over it after that. Yesterday, Mark's friend, Penelope, mentioned how Mark had gone out with her and a group of her friends that day. I'm furious because he told me he had spent the day at a bar alone getting wasted. Mark doesn't understand why I'm angry over this since I already forgave him for missing our anniversary. Would breaking up with him be an overreaction? No. I'd be pissed that he didn't answer me till 1 a.m. because I would be like, oh my God, something happened.
Especially on a very important day
Right.
where you guys had plans or at least something for your second anniversary,
Yeah.
and he was being very childish and immature.
Edit to add more info. My parents are nice to my boyfriend. They like him and have never mentioned Jason to him until this happened. They still talk to Jason if they see him whenever he comes back for a visit, but as far as I know, they don't go out of their way to keep in contact with him anymore. I stopped talking to Jason 3 months into dating my boyfriend because he said he didn't like it. Relevant comments. Commenter 1. I would suggest it heavily. He's obviously not ready for something serious if he's going to throw a tantrum, purposely ditch your anniversary, to then lie to your face and say he was wasted by himself. Then his female friend broke the actual truth to you that he wasn't alone and was wasted with friends, while you were, I'm guessing, clearly upset and angry for missing an important date. He never tried to hear why your ex was there, I'm guessing, and wanted to punish you. If so, that's childish, and I wouldn't want to be stuck dating a man-child that would rather be petty than actually talk. OP says, we did talk about my ex being there, and he seemed to understand, only to pull this a week later.
A week later is crazy.
Yeah. Commenter 2, wait, so you both had a talk about this, and were okay with everything? Then he acts passive-aggressively and like a man-child about it? OP says, yup. Commenter 3, it kind of sounds like he cheated on you a little bit. OP says he didn't. Commenter 4, first paragraph, you said you invited the ex over, or at least that is what your current boyfriend thinks. Second paragraph makes it sound like the ex just showed up on his own to check in on your dad. Your boyfriend definitely should have talked to you in either situation. If it was the second situation, then he is definitely overreacting. If it was the first situation, then he is still overreacting, but he does have some possible reasonable concerns, albeit also maybe from insecurity. There is nothing more to it than just your ex being there. Your boyfriend needs to communicate whatever he is feeling or thinking to you. Sounds like the communication between you two needs some work. Like most answers on here, just communicate with each other. If you or him aren't willing to be open and honest with one another, then I'd recommend reconsidering a relationship together. Opie says, sorry for the confusion. I didn't invite him, but my boyfriend assumed I did. Commenter 5. I would dump his butt. Your dad was sick. A good boyfriend would understand that. Your ex was there to help. Then your boyfriend ditched you to get revenge and lied to you about where he was. I think you should talk to him and then dump him. Why did you even get together with him in the first place? He seems like a knucklehead. I'm sure you can find a better guy, one that will understand that your father's health is far more important to you than ghosting your ex. You're both adults. You didn't cheat on your boyfriend. You didn't do anything wrong. Then he hangs out with another girl on your anniversary and lied about it.
Mm-hmm.
You deserve the sun, and all you have now is a light bulb. Dump him. OP says he wasn't like a knucklehead before. OP on why Jason was there at the hospital. Jason's mom asked him to go because the doctor my parents spoke to didn't explain the treatment options very well, and he clarified them to reassure my mom. I didn't even know he was going to be there. If Mark's ex did the same thing, I wouldn't be upset. I would be happy his parents were getting support and reassurance during a difficult time.
Yeah.
He's finished med school. He was dumbing down the treatment options because the doc my parents saw didn't speak to them for very long and was very rush. So my mom was overwhelmed by it all. It was more to help reassure my mom than anything else. OP responding to a downvoted comment about her current boyfriend and her being toxic with her wanting to break up. No, I said we should break up because he stood me up on our anniversary and then called me wasted to blame me for it. Did Jason have OP's number? OP says, Jason doesn't have my number and my boyfriend asked me to block him on everything, so it's not like he could ask me even if he wanted to. We have an update 4 days later.
That's a very interesting thing that Mark was like, you have to cut off contact immediately with your amicable ex-boyfriend.
Yeah.
Like, if it was a serious thing and like very toxic relationship, makes sense. Mark just seems very controlling and very insecure.
I could understand, like, you dated for 3 years, even if it was amicable. I don't want you talking to your ex all the time.
If it's all the time, but he's like, hey,
I would probably say I wouldn't, like, still would be like, it's weird that you talk to your ex.
Right.
Now there's the fact that they're a family friend, so that you're going to have interactions with them. I don't think they necessarily need to be like locked down, blocked on everything.
That's
like
crazy,
you can never
yeah.
contact me. Like,
Yeah.
no. Dump him. Dump him.
Dump
I'm
him.
on team. Dump him.
Dump him.
Update 4 days later. After I posted my original post, I asked Mark for some space to think and went to stay with my parents. He was upset but said he would respect my decision. He did send me one text after I left, which said he was sorry and he loved me. Jason's mom called me the day after to ask if she could give him my number. This was very random since he's always respected my decision not to stay in touch with him, so I figured it had to be something important. I gave her the go-ahead and Jason called me later in the day. He sounded pretty irritated on the phone and asked me to tell my boyfriend to leave him alone.
No way.
Mark had been pestering him on Facebook all day since I moved out. He'd sent him some nasty and threatening messages, and he also commented on every picture that included me on his profile.
All right. Mark, you're cementing this breakup.
Mark, you're digging. It's where you're gonna lay.
Yep.
Yikes.
That's crazy.
Mark's messages read like he was wasted. Not that that's an excuse. Jason did block him, but Mark kept making new accounts. I was super embarrassed by his behavior and apologized to Jason and told him I'd talk to Mark. Mark denied it. He tried to say Jason faked the screenshots he sent me to make Mark look bad. When I told him I didn't believe him, he got angry and tried to twist it back onto me again. He asked me why Jason even had my number, why we were even talking to each other, and he accused me of letting him ruin our relationship.
Called it. Like I said.
He accused me of letting him.
He did this. He ruined us. It's his fault.
The call's coming from in the house, buddy. It was you, Mark. He also made a comment about how I should just go F Jason if that's what I wanted. By the way, if it's what you want, you should go listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, search up OK Storytime. There's a lot of episodes there. We got a little bit left. Anything else to add?
Well, this is I'm all for second chances. I like second chances, but this guy never really deserved one in the first place.
This is so beyond.
This is ridiculous, and he really, you know what? He threw in the flag. He threw it in. He's done.
You gave him the second chance with just getting over him ditching your anniversary.
Yeah, the fact that he was lucky enough to get a second chance when ditching your anniversary, lying to you about everything, and then pointing the finger at you saying you deserve this. And then you're like, hey, you know what? Maybe we could try this, work it out. I'm gonna go spend some time. Like, we need some time apart, but we're not broken up yet. Just give me some time.
Crazy.
And then he just starts going straight at your ex.
Full pestering.
Crazy. Yeah, and now he's doing this. Yeah. All right.
Bye-bye, Mark.
Bye-bye.
I think my relationship is over. I wanted to try to address his jealousy and how he handles it to see if we could work things out. But he just isn't willing or able to talk about it without getting defensive. The last conversation I had with Jason was him sending me a screenshot of Mark apologizing to him. But this just feels performative now. I don't really know what I'll do now. We have some relevant comments. Commenter 1, are Jason and your parents close? Do they meet regularly? OP says he was close to them when we dated, and they still saw him occasionally after. Whenever he came home for the holidays, if they went over to his parents' place while he was there. But they don't go out of their way to meet as far as I'm aware. Commenter 2, just a tad bit strange how close your ex is with your parents. LOL. Just saying. Not making excuses for your new boyfriend, but whatever. OP says they've known him, ex, his whole life, if that makes it less strange. He's also a doctor, guys, and they were asking for doctor advice.
Again, it was very clear because I was the same way. I was like, oh, that's very weird. But the fact that that's why I was saying they probably knew Jason even way before they started dating. OP and him started dating because OP's mom and his mom are close. Maybe they got close when they were dating. Doesn't matter. The families are
definitely before.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, they said whole life.
Yeah. So that's why so it makes sense. And everything's cordial. And Jason respected OP's boundaries of, okay, that's
Yeah,
so totally
they
fair.
weren't talking. If the parents overlap with Jason when they're at the place that Jason lives at, that's crazy.
I don't see where the
You want
conversation-
Jason to like leave the state when your parents go to visit?
Jason's
other?
family? Yeah, no, that's very odd, that commenter. Again, unless if OP was like openly like, I don't want you talking to Jason, cut off ties with Jason kind of thing, or like, even then.
For the parents? Nah,
I
I
think
think if you're
everything's
going
cordial,
into a
yeah.
relationship with a family friend, you have to understand that the parents are allowed to still remain friends after.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
don't
but-
have to hang out with them.
Unless something bad happened between the
For
two.
sure.
But
that
this
was
is
but this was
cordial.
amicable.
This is very cordial and very
So-
amicable. We're adults, Mark.
Yeah, almost all of us are adults. Mark.
My sister-in-law moved in with us, and now I want to send her back.
Send her away.
My husband, 25 male, and I, 28 female, live in an apartment with our 2-year-old daughter. It's not super big, just a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment. My sister-in-law, 22 female, let's call her Sally, came to us saying that living with mother-in-law has made her feel trapped, especially since she doesn't have a car to get around. After talking to my husband, we agreed to let her live with us rent-free in exchange for her getting a full-time job and saving up for a car. By the way, this comes from user ButterscotchFit9745, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Riley,
I'm Carly.
and we are here to give good advice in a goofy manner. We don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do, so let us know what you would do in your own unique experience in the comments. As OP says, we moved all of our 2-year-old's things out of the extra room and bathroom. Our daughter now sleeps in our room and uses our bathroom. I even set up a job interview for Sally at my job and was able to get her hired. I let her know this was temporary because she would need to do some schooling to keep working there. I also told Sally that she cannot be late to this job because everyone working has to wait for her to come in before they can leave. Sally had the ability to pick up extra shifts, but would only take about 3 per month. We told her she would still need to find another job so she could save for a car. It's been almost 4 months and she hasn't found another job or saved anything. Sally is also constantly late to her current job and doesn't pay rent, clean, or help with anything around the house. She mostly stays in her room watching TV all day and orders food, even though we told her she could cook and eat our food. We also told her that since she was borrowing our vehicle, we would need to put her on our insurance, but she refused to pay the difference. About a month ago, we talked to Sally and told her that if she didn't get things moving, she would have to start paying $300 in rent. We pay about $1,700 with utilities. She said okay, but later cornered us, saying we weren't fair for changing the agreement, and anytime I spoke up, she mocked me. Okay, Sally said she was struggling with depression and needed someone to help her get up and brush her teeth and hair to tell her what to do every day. We told her we aren't her parents and are treating her like an adult. If she needed professional help, we would get her that help, but she declined. About a month later, I told our other sister-in-law, 30 female, let's call her Ginny, that it wouldn't be a good idea to have Sally apply at her job because she's always late. I told Ginny she shouldn't risk her hard-earned promotion and it might not look good on her. Well, Ginny told Sally what I said about her being late and that it might hurt Ginny's reputation. Sally came up to me and demanded an apology, saying it was an attack on her character and hurt her feelings. I told her I would not apologize because it was true and that she shouldn't expect apologies from everyone. Sally said that since I was her sister-in-law, I had to apologize. She then ran to her room crying, saying she hated herself and wanted to pass away. Oh,
Oh.
man.
How old is Sally again?
I-
Like 18?
I think she's 22.
22. Okay, older than I was remembering.
Yeah, it's always hard in these positions because it's like you have this like sympathy of like this
Right.
person is very obviously going through something
Right.
and needs help. But it's also hard when like you are that person trying to give the help and being put in these really difficult situations.
Yeah, I would say almost at this point, it's like a non-negotiable that she goes to therapy.
Yeah.
Like you say, hey, we will not make you pay that rent for a couple more months on the new contingency
Yeah.
that you're going to go to therapy so we can work this out and that maybe we can get you like the help you need to then go out and get that job.
Yeah.
But like new contingency is therapy.
So I messaged her, telling her that if she needed professional help, I wouldn't mind taking her, or my husband could if she was still mad at me. Sally then messaged me back saying that if I had anything to say, I should say it to her face. She has now hidden our dog's food and water, still mad and upset. I feel like I can't even leave our room in fear that it will set off another meltdown for her. OP asks, would I be the a-hole for having her go back to mother-in-law's house since she won't do anything to help herself? I would love any advice anyone has as well. Comments say absolutely not the a-hole. Just because she is depressed does not mean that she gets to freeload. If she's depressed enough that she isn't able to do anything without someone telling her to, then she needs professional help. The fact that she's hiding your dog's food and water is animal cruelty and would have me kicking her out so fast. You have 3 people living in one room and a dog. She has a room to herself and a car to borrow rent-free and free food. Honestly, you have given her so much leeway and she's done nothing but try to take more. And somebody else says she's being a princess. If she truly has issues, depression, etc., she needs to get help, which you've already offered to help with. If she chooses not to, you can't do it for her. She needs to adult. I wouldn't want her around my child. To which someone replied, you know, you're not the first person to say that if she has true depression. I'm going to tell you this, while depression can involve itself in many aspects of your life, I don't for a minute buy the fact that this person has depression. If she knows she has depression, has she seen someone? Has she been given medication? Or is she just assuming and using another scapegoat? I don't believe that it's true just from the words that were shared about us. And I'm extremely knowledgeable about depression. 35 years of experience and the same amount of time to researching. I've got kind of a handle on the pulse of depression, and this girl's just picking up a social media produced excuse. Maybe. I don't know. I feel like it's always like whenever people get like that online, I have to be like, okay, sure, that's a possibility. We can't be sitting here saying this person's experience is actually this other way. I'm like, we just don't know.
I think that leads to a little too much stigma in like getting diagnoses, but also I want to know, like, she's like, I have 35 years of experience. Are you a psychologist or psychiatrist, or are you just saying I've been depressed for 35 years?
Which, like, condolences
if
that is the case. But yeah,
either way, then we should have sympathy for someone who's maybe depressed.
Yeah. Now OP says she does have a psychiatrist and does take medication. Obviously, it's not helping her. That's why I wanted her to get more help. I have suffered with depression and have medication for it. I have not once blamed my problems on anyone else or lashed out like she has. In fact, it was the opposite. I just feel like she is just using it as a crutch or trying to manipulate me. I don't want to assume that though, so I did tell her I would get her help and that I meant it from a place of love, but I felt like she just spat in my face when offered. Somebody else commented, if someone mocked or bullied me in my own house, I might be in jail right now. Girl, what are you doing? OP says that's why I told her I would not apologize to her. She is not entitled to it. Not everyone is going to apologize to her, and I told her that. Somebody else comments, not the a-hole. Kicking her back out is the way to go. Back to your actual mommy, Sally. I'd also apologize to the boss at your job for recommending her and let them know that you feel extremely disappointed and let down by her, and if they want to let her go, you'd understand. To which OP says, I did mention this to my boss, and they only said I would be a good sister-in-law for finding her a different job at the end of the month. There's an update. OP says, thank you everyone for the advice. I apologize that I haven't been able to get back to all of you. This had more comments than I expected. Last night, I talked to my husband about trying to get Sally evicted with a written notice and called my husband's mother to see about having Sally come back to her house. We were waiting for mother-in-law to call us back since she didn't answer. I had to leave for work, so I told my husband he needed to talk to Sally about the dog's food. While I was at work, I received a text from my husband saying that he had talked to Sally, and she told him she had the dog food in her room because he wasn't eating, which didn't make sense because he wasn't even in her room. She also said that I was a backstabbing B-word and needed to apologize to her. My husband told her that she had no right to talk about me that way, that I wouldn't be apologizing, and if she had a problem, she could leave. Sally then left to call her grandmother to get her on her side. I think the grandmother convinced her that she was in the wrong. Later, I got a text message from Sally apologizing for calling me a backstabbing B-word and saying she had felt trapped at our house. So this is a pattern. So it doesn't actually matter what is happening in the house.
Sally, I think you need to get a job. I think you need to get some new therapy, and then you need to live alone so that you don't feel trapped by anyone but yourself.
Alone and a car. And like that's
And a
what she was
car.
supposed to be saving
Yeah.
up for in the first place. Like listen, I don't like driving.
Right.
I had to drive through streets and traffic to get here.
Driving
But,
the
like,
streets.
That you want to not feel trapped, that's the
Right.
way to do it.
Or alternatively, if you're like, I really don't want to live alone, or like even with savings can't live alone, a friend that you know, like
Yeah.
we are solely here as roommates. We will still be friends, but like we're not controlling each other in any way.
Yeah.
We don't rely on each other in any way for that kind of stuff. Like something where it's like you're basically on your own.
OB told her we'd given her all the freedom she wanted, that all we had asked for her was to get a full-time job, and that we couldn't do anything else to help her. I said maybe it would be best if she found another place to live, because staying here was only making things worse for her. By the way, you can listen to full episodes with stories just like this if you go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app and search OK Storytime. Okay. I want deeply to know what Sally said.
Okay.
Which,
Do you have any other thoughts before we go in? Any predictions?
any predictions? It's so
Do you
funny
think
because
she
I can
moves out? Oh, you can see it.
I can see
Okay.
right here. No. I just see texted back saying she was, and I'm like, oh God, saying she was
she's
what?
Okay, is it saying she was going to move out or saying she's not going to move out?
I'm gonna be hopeful. I'm gonna say that Grandma came in with a steel
Okay.
chair and convinced Sally to have some logic.
So she's going to give where she is another try. Because
I-
maybe she's trying to live with Grandma.
Ooh, let's get Grandma involved.
Let's
I
get- let's
think
get-
Sally's gonna
Grandma's
move
got
out.
that-
That's
that-
my vibe.
Say it again.
I think Sally's gonna move out. That's
Okay.
my vibe. Do you
Okay.
concur?
I'll concur on that one.
Okay.
Let's see.
We're met. Sally texted back and agreed, saying she was willing to go to the behavioral hospital and then live with her sister afterward to find a job near her. She said she still loved us and wanted to visit occasionally to try and fix our relationship. I messaged Sally back and told her it was a good idea, and my husband would take her that night before she could second guess herself. Sally is currently in the hospital, and if I have more updates, I will post them later. Thank you for joining me on this roller coaster.
Wow.
Great! That's wonderful.
That's a wonderful ending.
I love a good ending.
I hope that works out great and she gets the help that she needs. And then when she
Yeah.
goes and lives with sister, that can be like a whole fresh start and
Yeah.
hopefully a job wherever sister is. Like that would be so great for
Yeah.
her. My husband pranked me with a shady gym outfit. Now I wear it every time.
As you should.
I'm 35 and he's 29. He bought me a sports bra and bottoms that he saw on an Insta model and thought they'd suit me. The shorts are pretty much thongs, but I loved the bras as it was very supportive and I wore it to the gym. By the way, this comes from Blacked Gym Girl, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
And I'm Savannah.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, when I got back, he asked if anyone said anything about my sports bra or if anyone looked. I said no. People do look in the gym, but I always say no when he asks, as he's a bit jealous. And he seemed disappointed. When I asked why, he started laughing and said the logo on the sports bra, Blacked, is a corn company that specializes in interracial corn. I didn't really get the prank, as I don't think many people would know that, but it annoyed me that he tried to humiliate me, and I said, bit ironic you sent me outside in that when you got upset finding out I'd been with black men. This caused a big argument, and since then, I've worn this sports bra every time I've been to the gym or out on runs out of spite. I even put the bottoms on under my shorts and make sure the waistband sticks out with Blacked wrote all around it. I've even thought about posting a pic of myself on Instagram wearing it and going to his friend's barbecue on Sunday wearing it. Should I carry on this petty revenge or stop? Some relevant comments. Commenter 1. No, you're not the a-hole. I don't know why men think it's okay to use that against us. Like, sorry we don't see people by just appearance? Shaking my head. Opie said it nearly split us up when he first reacted to it, as I found it discriminatory, but he told me he just watched too much corn when he was younger and he was insecure. Can't be that insecure if he's sending me out in corn-related sportswear. Commenter 2, your boyfriend is weird. Not the a-hole. I'd be annoyed and creeped out. Opie responds, I was honestly very annoyed, and that's why I've kept wearing it, to annoy him. Commenter 3, you're not the a-hole for wearing the clothes he gave you and was hoping you'd wear, but you're in a cold war and not sure this relationship has any chance of going anywhere healthy, so you're the a-hole to yourself if you don't make a change. Opie responds, I'll be honest, me stooping to his level has me questioning myself and this relationship. Commenter 4, if this type of thing is normal in your relationship, I suspect you may have bigger issues. Have a look at this quiz, and if nothing else, then for poops and giggles. Personally, I'd be infuriated that my partner decided to actively try to humiliate me. I'd also be upset at them policing and restricting what I wear and places I go. Never mind feeling alone and sad over not being able to trust we can talk about it without there being a fight. Remember, it's only a joke and a prank if everyone's laughing. People laughing at you while you're upset isn't a joke or a prank. That's just plain bullying. OP responds, everything you've said is true. Yeah, I fully agree with it. We have a couple more comments, but I fully agree with all of that. I think that that's not a funny prank. It's definitely way too far, especially if she's not laughing. Like, that last commenter said it exactly right. It's only funny if everyone's gonna find it funny. If everyone's not gonna, like, and you should know your partner well enough to know that that's, like, you're just trying to humiliate her at the gym. I will say now, OP, I don't think you should wear it to the barbecue, but honestly, like, go for it, girl. I also kind of support it, so.
Yeah, I think, like, he meant for it to be funny, and, like, yeah, it's funny, but then, like, he got mad at, like, the response to it. And
Right.
It's like, well, maybe not everyone, finds it funny. So,
Right.
like, maybe
And-
you found it funny because you're weird like that, but, like, to me, it just seems like you're trying to, like, embarrass me or something.
Right,
for
and
some
now
reason.
you're laughing at me for, like, being like, why did you try to humiliate me when you supposedly love me? Like, it's just a really, and it feels like it's very much out of the place that she was talking about his, like, insecurities, and, like, I'm not sure why he thought playing that specific prank would make him feel better in that sense. Like, it's really weird.
Yeah,
Like, you're, like, mad when people stare at her, so you put her in something expecting her to get stared at. She doesn't, you get mad at her because she doesn't, and then you get mad at her for feeling really upset that you actively tried to humiliate her.
Yeah, I mean, everything just seems completely backwards.
Commenter 5, nah, but you would be the a-hole to yourself if you stayed with a man who controls what you wear and makes you change gyms because he's insecure. OP says, he tried to make me change gym. No chance that I was changing.
Okay, that's too far. You don't need to change gyms. Why? Because
He's
no one
insecure about the people look.
That's just how is that your fault? But, like, and then guess what? Then she's gonna go to a different gym and it's gonna happen again, and then she's gonna go to a different one and happen again. Sorry, that's what happens at a gym. Yeah.
OP's location. OP says, we aren't in America.
Oh.
Why is OP's husband still upset with her? OP says, I've asked him all this and he keeps just saying, it was a joke. So I said, well, is the joke not still running if I keep wearing it? Why is it different now I'm in on the joke? And he'll just say, it's not the same. OP on the sports bra. OP says, I like how supportive the bra is, though. LOL. Gonna keep wearing it, girl. I've spent hundreds on sports bras in the past, as I'm 32 double D. So it's hard to find something that holds them down and stops them hurting. And this sports bra is the best I've ever had. We have an update 1.5 months later. Any other thoughts?
I mean, I don't think this is worthy of, like, a breakup. I don't feel like, but I'd be like, okay, I'm a little hurt.
Yeah, he does need to, like, realize what he did was wrong, though. Like,
Yeah.
you can't just be like, well, it's not funny anymore that you know about it. Like, you need to be like, it was never funny to begin with, dude. Like,
Yeah.
Update 1.5 months later. I didn't end up posting it on Instagram or wearing it to the barbecue I mentioned wearing it to because he threw them away when I went out and left them on the radiator to dry. I'll be honest, I wouldn't have dared anyway, but I went to put the bra on under my t-shirt to go for a run and couldn't find it anywhere. I asked him if he'd seen it and he said he bought them so he can do what he wants with them. And he threw them in a public bin so I wouldn't find them.
Okay, now that's a red flag.
He's controlling what she wears. Like, no.
Yeah.
And it was under a shirt, too. Come on. I was so angry. They were mine, not his. And while I didn't care about the bottoms, the bra was very supportive. I was just thinking about taking his PS5 that I bought him and binning it to prove a point. But then I took a breath, went for a walk, returned a couple of hours later, and told him I want a divorce.
Whoa, that escalated so far. There had to be other things that led
I'm
up
sure
to
it was
this.
building. Being the idiot he is, he said, what? Over a bra? Not realizing it was a buildup of the way he was acting before all that. I reeled off a list of stuff.
Oh.
Trying to humiliate me with the prank in the first place, calling me saggy front airbags in front of his friends all the time, being jealous and possessive, belittling my hobbies and things I do for fun, constantly talking about women like crap, and a few other things. All he would say was, well, why didn't you divorce me when that happened? To every point, which was annoying. His only defense was the saggy front airbags one when he said, they've seen your front airbags and like them, so it's only a joke. He did ask years ago if he could show them a pic, and I said yes.
Wait, show who a pic?
His friends, a pic of her front.
Wait, what? Hey, could I see a picture? Yeah, here. What? That's so. So because he, or no, did he like? I'm trying to use his logic. Like, if he took the picture, now it's his property. Now he can show whoever he wants.
I don't
like,
even
is that?
know. It says they asked him, but that's a lot of stuff. Like, girl, yeah, good on you for. That's crazy. I moved out that day and said I'd continue to pay my half of the rent until the contract is up at the end of January. I went to stay at a hotel for a couple nights before one of my brother's friends said I could go stay in one of his empty properties, and I'm still here now. I actually really like it and think I'll stay here for good. By the way, you can always stay with us for good by listening to more full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, search up OK Storytime. We've got a little bit more, but yeah, honestly, it sounds like that was just the tipping point, and
Yeah.
that's a lot of just like, especially the fact that you're saying that he's always talked like crap about women and just like, ugh, icky, yuck. Don't
Belittling
like it.
gets under it. Well, it gets under my skin. Like, just like
Yeah.
little comments here and there. Like, you don't have to say them if that's what you believe. Like, but then it's one thing to actually believe that, then another thing to like say it out loud and
Yeah.
like be like, oh, like am I supposed to agree that I'm less than you? Like,
Right.
that's crazy.
That's a wild thing to
Like,
say.
yeah, that's what kind of pees me off.
Yeah. We got a little bit left. He still messages a lot, a mix between asking me back and trying to make me jealous, but I ignore him. I've spoke to a lawyer and started the divorce, but she said it'll probably take around a year. Sorry, the update wasn't much fun, but it is what it is for now. If anyone's interested when I start having a fun life again, I'll let you know, lol. Me and a friend are going to Amsterdam next week, so that should be fun. We have some comments. Commenter 1, I find it odd you married an idiot and put up with his borderline for years and then all of a sudden grew a spine after a Reddit post. I don't find that odd at all,
Yeah.
commenter. I think a lot of people hit their breaking point like that. OP responds, I think it was the fact he wanted to publicly humiliate me and then his reaction when it didn't work. That plus the fact in the last month or so, he also forced me to change gyms, and a bit of extra confidence from going to the gym made me realize. Commenter 2 says, speak to the landlord. See if you can get your name off the lease so you don't have to pay for somewhere you don't live. You are paying for him to have the whole place to himself. Opie says, I've told the landlord I've moved out, so anything that happens is on my ex. And that is the end of that story.
Oh.
Good for you.
I mean, yeah, you got out of it, and honestly, it seems like, I mean, I'm assuming that you were together for a little while, so, I mean, that stinks. I hate, like, these stories that are just like, oh, I, was with this person for 10 years, and all of a sudden they're completely, like, different. That gives me no hope, and I'm scared. But, like, yeah, that's a horrible situation to be in, because belittling will never get you literally anywhere. Like, it's literally, belittling is negative in its truest form. Like, it's not something positive. It's not something that's gonna make your day. It's not, like, none of it is for good. So the fact that he, like, thinks he can get away with that and just be like, oh yeah, like, it was just a joke, like, cool, it was a joke until it wasn't. Then you
Right.
made it more serious.
It wasn't ever funny to me, so it wasn't ever a good joke. And you definitely, he 100% knew that was humiliation and not a funny thing.
Oh, for
Especially
sure.
for her. Like, come on, dude. Or you're just really that dumb. My friend demanded I ask for her permission before getting a job.
Is she your boss? Because that's the only way that makes sense.
By the way, this comes directly from the OK Storytime subreddit. I, 34 female, have a best friend, Kit, 35 female. She was the maid of honor at my wedding last year, so she's in every photo. My best friend of 8 years and our husbands are that couple that always hangs out together. She had been with her husband for 7 years and mine for 4. We lived 300 meters away from each other by the beach for 1.5 years, so we would hang out every single weekend. We would get wasted on Friday night, then be too hungover the rest of the weekend, but we had some fun time. By the way, this comes from One Piano 6834. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
I'm Dakota.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. My husband and I bought a house about 25 minutes away in the suburbs. I am a full-time student on my last term of uni, finally. My husband's family is pretty well off, and he has a trust fund that he used to buy the house, and his family also helped, so there's no mortgage. Which, being in the second most unaffordable city in the world, you know that's a huge weight off our shoulders. My husband was a surgeon back in Europe, but came here to do a PhD and changed his direction in health. And 6 months before the wedding, my dad cheated on my mom and left her for the other woman. He left my mother with my autistic sister, who was going through the worst domestic abuse situation. She was forced to have 2 children with this guy, and they are nonverbal autistic, so it is very hard for her. My father also cut my mother off financially. I told my husband I want to postpone the wedding, but he wouldn't allow it as we had his family coming from overseas. The entire year I was depressed, and my father ended up coming to the wedding and leaving halfway through. My husband had a great time with his family, but to me it was probably one of the most depressing days of my life. My friend knew I didn't want to do it. Some more family drama followed, which just added to the anxiety. After the wedding, she went quiet in the group chat, then called me to tell me that everyone in our friend group is angry with me because of how I have been the last few months. I contacted every person individually and said, sorry, I've been so stressed out and please forgive me. Every single person said it's totally fine and why would they be mad at me? Weddings are stressful and everyone had a great time, and essentially proved she was lying. She told me I wasn't myself and I need to go seek help and get antidepressants. So I did. After 3 months, I stopped taking them as I felt like the shock of my wedding was over. After many sessions in counseling, my husband apologized for making me go through with the wedding and was just so excited. Fast forward 8 months. I'm still a poor student. I dropped a few subjects at uni and did some short courses in my field of study, work health safety. I spent all of my savings on these courses, and then everything else I spent on my husband's birthday party, all in the same month. So I maxed out my credit card and burned through my savings. Another friend, we will call Kayla, 35 female, managed a liquor store. We met her 8 months prior when we got our booze in her store. My husband and I invested 10% into Kit and her husband's booze company. I put 15% of the 10%, as that's all I could afford. He put the remainder. When we had our startup, I was running around doing everything Kit asked of me so we could get it off the ground, often driving 4 to 5 hours a day to pick up and deliver things. Do booze tastings for them, all unpaid because I'm an investor and they're my friends and I want them to succeed. For 2.5 years, they would always introduce me as, this is my name, her husband is an investor. And I would always say, well, we both are. I told Kit that it hurt my feelings when her husband did this, and why was I not in the booze group chat? She said, it's just for the signatories. Whatever, I gave that up. I changed my mindset and thought maybe I'll help because it's my best friend. So we met Kayla at the liquor store. I do a tasting as Kit keeps leaving to do things. For the last 2 years, I've been waiting for my work experience subject at uni. Because my friend and her husband work in construction, they promised they could get me some work experience when the time came. She works in administration. Her husband is a project manager. Since I've known Kit, I've been the fun drinking friend on the weekends. I made good money throughout my 20s, so it took a lot of adjusting to become a broke student. Yes, I had savings, but that ran out by the time we had the wedding. When I first met her, she just left her fiance as his mistress, just gave birth to their child, and he left her with $90,000 in debt.
Wow.
I'm wildly lost in this
Where
story.
are these people coming from? That's a crazy thing to have had happened to you. So that's
Yeah.
Kit's backstory. Husband
Yeah.
left Kit
Yeah.
with a child and $90,000 of debt. Whoa.
Wow.
Maybe let's stop drinking on the weekends and figure some stuff out. We got to put a plan together. We got to do stuff.
I paid for everything when we went out because I was in a position to do so. But one day, I grew up. I knuckled down with my studies. I found a great man, albeit the wedding situation was bad. It's been 6 or 7 years of studying, thanks to the world shutting down for 2 years. So now that you've got the foundations, let's get to the story. It's been 6 months since we met Kayla. Kit and Kayla have been hanging out every Friday night. We have all been to each other's birthdays. We all like each other. After a massive day on a difficult course, I went home and took a sleeping tablet at 7 p.m. and woke up at 9 a.m. the next day. I was in bed replying to messages, then I started getting ready for the day, taking my dog to the vet, then going to my other friend's house to help her start packing to move the following weekend. Kayla had messaged the night before with a discount code to some designer brand. I replied with, I wish I could, but I'm so broke after June. My short course's husband's birthday, around $6,000. She replies with, if you're desperate, I can give you 2 shifts at my store. Great, I thought. 2 days and I will fill in when someone calls in sick. That way, it's not too much of a commitment as I have a busy month coming up. I messaged Kit back in the group chat to apologize for my late response as I had a sleeping tablet that previous night. She replied with, or you were out drinking with Kayla, haha. I reply with, that's so funny you mention her as she just offered me to do 2 shifts at her store this weekend and fill in person in the future. At this point, it has been 30 minutes since Kayla offered me a job and me telling Kit. I'm packing the car as I'm replying to everyone. I leave Kayla messages to ask if I want to work that night as well as the 2 other. I say sure. I get to the shop that evening and start working. Kayla tells me she is going out with Kit that night. Kit comes in a hurry as the Uber is outside, drops me my sunglasses from the hangout the previous weekend, doesn't say hi, just in a rush. I send 2 photos in the group chat over the weekend. Radio silence. Come Monday morning, I'm back on an intense short course, 10 hours per day, plus 4 to 5 hours homework each night for 2 weeks. I messaged to ask her and her husband if they still have a connection for me for work experience in safety. Otherwise, I can organize something else. She replies with, you've been changing your mind a lot lately with what you want to do with work experience, so maybe you should have a long, hard think about what it is you actually want to do before chats can be had. I thought this was quite rude. After the wedding, we agreed if the other person does something, we would say it straight away so there's no buildup. So I messaged her asking why she said that when my degree I've been studying for 6 years is in safety, and she agreed 2 years ago to help me. I've asked them every 6 months since then if they can still help, and it's not a big deal if they can't. I have other options. And also that it was rude to put it in a group chat. She said, I'll call you later tonight. So she calls. I answer pleasantly, as usual, thinking she's going to say, sorry, I didn't mean it like that. I've just had a rough week. Instead, she goes off her head at me, saying I should have asked her permission to work at the liquor store. I shouldn't be telling people I am broke as I am an investor and it looks bad for the business. And she had to hear it from someone else that I took the job.
In what universe is any of this your territory, my guy?
So
Why are you making this into a problem? She's picking up extra shifts, working behind a counter. Stop it.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
She's working 2 days a week and filling in for people.
And why is this anyone's problem?
Yeah. also saying that Kayla was confused why we lived in such an expensive house, but I was saying I was poor. She took my address from my employee application and looked the house price up. How is that anything to do with me? Plus, once again, I have a prenup because his family bought the house. She also said Kayla is not our friend. She is a work colleague and they only go out with her every Friday to try to get her to get our booze into other stores. I said that's not nice to her, considering that we've all been to each other's birthdays and I had considered Kayla my friend. She said I wouldn't understand because I don't work in that business. I was so confused, but also, why are you yelling? Why didn't you say something Friday or Saturday or Sunday or Monday morning? I could have avoided even starting work if it meant that much to her. Plus, this is the first time I've been included as an investor. Why now? After the last year we've been saying I just work for her, we end the phone call. I'm so angry. I tell my husband, and all he hears is that I've been telling people I'm poor and he is not a good provider, when all I said was I can't afford designer clothes because I am a student and just had an expensive month. Is this the wrong thing to say? I didn't get much care from him as he was hung up on that sentence. He called her husband the next day to ask what was going on. He said, Kit said apparently she told her not to work there and she took the job anyway, which is a lie. Then the manager from the other liquor store passes away. That's her husband's friend and how we got into Kayla's liquor store. So I send her a nice message saying sorry for the loss of her friend. Then come Friday, she loses her job. She messaged Sunday saying, let's clear the air. I figure let's not make my birthday awkward, and we meet up a few days later, the day before my birthday. I figure she's had a rough week and it's not worth losing the friendship over. I'll apologize for all of these things. She'll apologize for overreacting. I say sorry for XYZ. She also says she doesn't actually care that I work there, just that Kayla told her first. I said, but I told you half hour after. She said, yes, but Kayla told me first. You should have dropped everything you were doing and told me. I ask her for an apology for what she said, and she replies with, well, first you want to be a bus driver, then you want to do a truck license, then you want to work at this place. So you see where I'm coming from? I replied, not really. What I do for a job and what I do for study and a career are two different things. I could be an Uber driver or work at a coffee shop, and that has nothing to do with my degree in work safety. She replies, I guess this is a conversation for another day. I also mentioned the booze group chat. Again, she says it's just for those who signed the contract. So I decided I'm not doing anything more for that business regardless of how this pans out. My husband takes me out for my birthday over the weekend and surprised me with her and her husband. It was the worst birthday ever. He thought we had a little disagreement and now we're over it. For the entire month, my husband, her husband, and Kit had a group chat organizing meetups as I was too busy with study. I told him, please don't do this. It hurts my feelings. He said, I will get over it and I just need another chat with her to clear the air. She messaged me 1 to 2 weeks later to catch up as friends, not for any hard conversations. And I told her it seems like she has forgotten where we left things. She is not willing to apologize. Her husband obviously has been told a different story. We had a few back and forth texts, but she doesn't think she did anything wrong. I told my husband I'm not going on his family vacation anymore as I don't feel heard or supported. He said I'm being dramatic, but I stood my ground. He spoke to the counselor and they told him what was happening and agreed he had been a wiener the last month by not realizing the argument was bigger than it actually was. I quit the liquor store job for Kit. Kayla wanted to keep me on permanently. My husband doesn't speak to them anymore, but keeps it cordial with them because of the business. By the way, you can keep it cordial with us by listening to full episodes with stories just like this. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, search up OK Storytime. I blocked her. I can't let that friendship take any more energy from me. I'm graduating in a few short months. I have my dream job back in my husband's country as we are moving there soon for his work. I don't know what to do from here. Did I make the right choice? I feel better that I blocked her, but also have other friends asking if I was going to her birthday, which was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back as she organized her birthday when we were in a good place. Some say it's obvious that she is jealous as she was always the one I turned to for advice and she was always ahead of me in life. But now my life is about to take off. house, husband, career, money. It seems like she doesn't think I deserve it because she met me when I was the funny wasted friend. But I turned my life around. I've always been the chill friend who lets things slide, but this time I didn't. Maybe that has shocked her. And that's the end of that story.
My mother's boyfriend made me realize how insecure my stepmother is.
I mean, if it helps, yeah.
My father has been married to my stepmother for 6 years, and they have 2 kids together. I'm 17 years old. I'm quiet, clean up after myself, and I work part-time, so I pay for many of my own things. I'm not perfect, but I've never been a problem. Still, she always made me feel like one. By the way, this comes from Master Tangerine 670. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Riley.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we'd do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, it started with her showing annoyance whenever I went to my father's house. My mother taught me to always wash my own dishes, but I clearly remember hearing my stepmother tell my father that she would not clean other people's dishes or cook food for me.
So she's complaining instead of communicating that to you?
Yeah, also just doesn't even seem like that's true. I think that was the first time I felt like a nuisance in a place where I used to feel comfortable.
Aww.
That's so sad. My father and I used to take trips together, and I honestly felt excited about going on vacation with my little brothers. But then they started going on vacations together as a family, and I was no longer part of that family. She did not like me going with them. Then the Christmas photos started. It felt strange when they took a picture with me, and then she would say, okay, now one with my family. Sadie is mean.
What? That is
So
wild.
mean. Why are you even getting with the guy that has a child if you don't even, want that? It's terrible. And I had to step aside. The photos they have hanging around the house show baptisms and family moments, and I'm not in them even though I was present.
Time out. Now I'm really mad.
Why?
They're religious.
Yeah.
Baptisms, and they're over here. You're not a part of the family.
Yeah.
What happened to the guy that was like, love everyone?
They
not
didn't
listening
listen
to
to
him?
that. Nope.
What are we doing?
Not loving everyone. When my siblings were born, she really hated it when I was around them. She resented my presence. I remember once asking about this in a Facebook group about stepmothers and getting responses from women saying that my stepmother's behavior was normal. So I decided to try not to feel bad about it. Wait, what? Are you in a Facebook group with other stepmothers? And they're like, oh yes, of course. I always treat my children terribly. My stepchildren suck.
Sounds like OP's trying to find an answer, and this is where
Yeah.
she's going.
I don't know if we should go to like the stepmother Facebook group.
Why not?
Well, I feel like that's where you find out, I don't know, you find all the other mean stepmothers, it seems.
It's spying on the enemy and understanding like the
Yeah.
ammunition you can get.
It's like, how do I deal with my stepmother?
It's actually
I've
pretty
got to
smart.
go undercover. Yeah.
I'm gonna start joining Facebook groups. Girls Unite Facebook group.
Hey, ladies, we all have the same problems, right? Let's talk about them.
We clearly see that you're a guy.
What? No. I think as the years went by, it stopped hurting, or at least I thought it did. And I met my mother's boyfriend, who I will call Luigi, because he looks like him. He has been dating my mom for 2 years, but he has been her friend for many years. He has a son from previous relationship. Luigi is really kind and funny, and it felt strange to feel comfortable around him. One day, he was organizing a vacation, and I was happy to hear him include me in his plans. His sons and I get along well, so he even invites me on outings with them. My mother is pregnant, and I think that revived old trauma related to my stepmother. I automatically expected to be left aside by Luigi, but that did not happen. My mother and Luigi always include his son and me in every plan.
Aww.
That's so lovely. This is so good. At least you have one side of the family who wants you around. Because of this, I slowly began to realize that my stepmother's behavior was not normal, even though it still hurt.
Luigi knows how to keep the bros together.
Yeah, he's
super.
He's a super bro. Super stepdad, I guess, situation. Super Mario Bros. Yep.
Super Luigi bro.
Super Luigi Bros. Maybe he lives in a mansion. Could be good. Everything came to a head yesterday when my father and his family were going to take the typical Christmas photo. My father told me he would take one with me later, like every year, and that he keeps them in his office. I stayed home. Yeah, why would you even come? He's like, yeah, you can come over. You're not going to be in the pictures. Like, I'm going to take a selfie with you on my phone later, but these ones are just for the family.
You know what OP is? She's the sweater that your grandma made for you, but you never wear, but you still keep around because it's from your grandma.
Oh,
That's what OP is.
Oh, that's so sad. Go give this beautiful sweater to Luigi. He'll appreciate it.
He'll wear it.
I felt silly for feeling sad again. My mother hugged me, but I was tired, and I finally told her about the real treatment I've been receiving.
I was about to ask, have you told her?
Does your mom know?
Yeah.
For the first time, I saw Luigi angry. He called my father, and I heard him tell him everything.
Whoa.
I even laughed a little when he said my stepmother was an insecure psychopath. Nice, Luigi, standing up for OP.
I mean, someone had to be a dad in this scenario.
Yeah, and your dad wasn't doing it, so Luigi stepped up.
Dude, remember all the stories that we get of the dad gets with like his new boo thing, and the new boo thing doesn't like the kids.
Yeah.
And the dad's just like, whatever.
I guess that's fine.
This is normal now.
Never liked that kid anyway. Yeah.
I feel like that speaks a lot about their character.
Yeah. Bad dad. Not great person. Although Luigi apologized to my mother afterward, he told her that what I have been experiencing is a form of psychological child mistreatment, and that he will not be involved in it anymore. Hearing those words made me realize it's true. I have been bullied by a grown woman just for existing. She's insecure about a child. I was a kid when I met her. I was a kid when she made me feel insecure in my own house. I was a kid when she started calling me a weekend daughter. Oh my God.
Whoa. She called you a part-time daughter?
That's crazy.
Actually, I would call my grandmommy that for my great-grandfather.
The part-time wife?
Yeah. She only came on the weekends, dude.
Okay, well, that makes sense.
But you can't say that about a daughter?
No.
Okay.
Not when
okay.
she's 17 and already being bullied. I do not want to see my father again. I do not want to live my adulthood around a person who hates me. At the same time, I do not want her to win by giving her what she wants and making me disappear. Honestly, who cares about her?
Yeah.
Do what you need to do, not what she wants. Ignore her.
And if you're watching this and you've been through this, I'm really curious. How did you get over that? What does your life look like now at holidays?
Yeah. Do you still have a relationship with that family member, or?
Because this sounds dark.
Yeah.
But you only have to deal with your parents when you get older around holidays.
I mean, it doesn't really sound dark. It's just, it can be true for some people.
Well, it's sad to me. I
think it's sad.
So it's like, okay, I don't have to deal with these people for 2 days out of the year, for 2 weeks out of the year, really.
Yeah. I mean, right now, OP's 17, so I think that, I don't know if she's like looking at it that way yet, because she's still a minor. But I definitely would be looking into how do we get your mom to have full custody for right now.
Yeah.
Edit. Apparently this post was shared in a subreddit about stepmothers because I have been receiving private messages from people trying to justify my stepmother's behavior. What's up with all these stepmother groups? Stepmothers are in like a little like freaking cult of the stepmothers. And they're like, well, you can't say that about her. She just doesn't like you. It's not her fault.
I was more imagining like a stepmother. Is it the community club? What is that called? Country club. Like a stepmother country club, because they got their Botox in. They got their like big sunglasses on.
Yeah.
And they're all like with their minivans.
They all have minivans. This is just the bad stepmothers, guys. Don't worry.
Okay.
I will not answer those messages and will block those accounts. I do not need anyone turning the person who hurt me into the victim. I do not need a group of cruel adults trying to make me feel guilty for what happened when I was a child. If you're 17 still, you're still a child. Absolutely nothing justifies mistreating a child. Being a stepmother is difficult? Then try being a little girl who doesn't understand why an adult living in the same house hates her.
Dude, who knew that Cinderella would be so true over all these years?
I guess. I mean, we keep reading these Cinderella stories. But I don't understand why anyone in the comments is trying to see the stepmother side here.
I know why.
Why?
Because they are the stepmom.
Yeah.
They feel that way.
And they've done it. Yeah.
And this is the only place on earth that they can voice themselves.
Yeah.
And have support.
Yeah, clearly they're getting somebody to support them. Comment 1 says, have you talked to your dad about this? How can he allow this? I'm so sorry you were mistreated, but it's good that you have Luigi.
Yes, W's in the chat for Luigi.
Luigi comes through every day.
We got Rob, Luigi, and
Rob.
don't you remember the Rob story?
No.
Everyone in the comments tell Sophia about the Rob story.
Yeah, let me know. TLDR. Rob.
Basically, Rob was a stepdad, and he paid for his little girl's like college, all this stuff, wedding. And then OP, the little girl, her dad comes into the picture.
Yeah.
It's like, will you forgive me for not being around? She said yes. And then he was like, can I walk you down the aisle? And she said yes instead of Rob.
No, I remember this.
Who was there for everything.
No, Rob.
And Rob still, with a loving heart, forgave her.
Wow.
But was hurt and like was like, I can't. I gotta keep myself a boundary, but I still love you. But he's still like, I don't know what all
Ouch.
happened, but
Aw.
I remember what Rob made me feel.
Yeah. Rob and Luigi.
Yeah, guys, what are the like top 3 step parents in OK Storytime history?
Yeah. Name them in the comments below. OP says, in the past, I talked to my dad about feeling bad when she kept my siblings away from me. When the first one was born, I remembered my dad scolding her and telling her to let me hold him. But he never did anything more than that. He has pictures of me at his workplace and in his home office. But he's like, I have a picture of you.
Yeah, stop making me feel so bad.
It's in my drawer.
You're on the wall. Give me a
Yeah.
break.
But it hurts that he has to keep me hidden, as if I were his secret, illegitimate daughter. Comment 2 says, well, I guess we know who your real father figure is. How is Luigi more of an adult than anyone else in your life? Can we all agree Luigi is an amazing human? OP, Christmas is around the corner. Please make sure he gets a gift under the tree. He's an amazing person. And OP says, he wants a scratching post for his cats, so I plan to give him a big one with my mom. And OP responds to a downvoted comment about being more comfortable around her mother's partner than her father's wife. OP says, what is not understood? It feels strange to feel comfortable around my mother's partner, since I never received that treatment from my father's partner before. It feels strange to feel comfortable around a parent's partner for the first time. Strange does not always have a bad connotation.
You know, I will agree to that.
Yeah.
The only thing I guess I can relate to this is I have a friend that he's dating someone right now and the parents are a little bit colder to him whenever he's used to his family being like, oh, like hugs whenever they first greet. And he's been telling me he's been having to like work on that
Yeah.
and work on like getting that relationship with his partner's parents like good to go. And it feels the same in this scenario.
Mm-hmm.
If you're so used to,
One, a form of affection
yeah,
or lack of affection in OP's case.
lack of affection, and this other guy's giving you unconditional love,
You're like, whoa,
that could be a little awkward.
this is what it's supposed to be like? All those stepmothers in that Facebook group said what she was doing was normal.
It should be doing that.
Yeah.
Hopefully, this unconditional love will be so infectious to your life that you're able to spread more of it to others.
Yeah. Keep it going. But 10 days later, OP says.
I'm assuming this is after the holidays.
I don't know. We'll find out. After the day Luigi set boundaries with my father and stepmother, my father did not call or say anything until several hours later when he sent me a message saying, I'm so sorry, Iha. I love you.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you got to put action to those words. You can say sorry, but it doesn't really mean anything.
But several hours later, though.
Yeah, well, maybe he was like trying to figure it out, but I don't honestly think it means anything until he starts showing up for OP. And even then, OP might not want to have a relationship with him. I felt strange reading it. It did not make me cry or feel loved. I always wanted to be a daddy's girl. I always loved my father and cherished the few moments we had together without my stepmother making bitter comments. But when I read that message, I felt nothing except thinking, same old thing. I did not reply. My father kept pictures of me in his home office, but why do I have to be a secret? I am not the daughter of a lover he wants to hide. Why does my existence need to be hidden? My face cannot be in the house where I lived? It sounds silly now because I used to feel happy seeing my photo there. I felt special thinking Dad has put me in his office while he works. As I grew older, that feeling disappeared and turned into something darker and more realistic. A day after that message, I decided to talk to my father and stepmother. My mother and Luigi offered to come with me, but I chose to go alone. I told my father I would not return to the house as long as he remained married to her. I think my words affected him because he apologized again and said he loved me and that we could all go on vacation together. I wanted to be the bigger person, but they are the adults. I have been the bigger person since she arrived and I'm exhausted. I told my father I do not want to go anywhere she is. Even if he sets limits now, I don't want to surround myself with that energy anymore. I think it's healthy to start setting boundaries. I have read comments from people over 35 who still endure cruel stepmothers just to see their fathers or siblings. I don't want that future. I do not want to spend my adulthood sharing dinners with a woman who hates me. I am terrified of having children one day and them having to call her grandma. I do not want to pretend everything is fine.
Yeah, that it's not good for anybody.
Yeah, no. You shouldn't have to do that. You should be around people that want you around.
I feel like you could get a fake mom though, like a fill-in grandma.
Well, OP's got her actual her bio mom.
But you need like grandma on this side, grandma on that side. You could get a fake grandma.
I feel like she's got her bio mom, and then presumably her bio mom has a mother.
Everyone deserves two grandmas.
Well, Luigi. Bet Luigi's
That's a grandfather.
Yeah, but Luigi.
I'm not talking about parents. I'm talking about for whenever OP has a kid. That kid needs two grandparents. I'm proposing getting a fake one or someone that's a close family friend, and that's considered grandma.
Wouldn't OP, whoever they were with, they would also have a mother that would become a grandparent?
Well, because it's the stepmom.
Yeah, but they don't need the stepmom.
Well, it's like stepmom and biological dad. So we just get rid of that side?
Yeah, we just get rid of that side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Push
I
them
see
off.
what you're saying.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that.
That's all right. Everyone deserves 4 grandparents.
Yeah.
My father told me he cannot leave her because she's his wife and the mother of his children.
What
Mother of all your
OP's
children.
mom?
Yeah, you seem to left her. I told him I understood, and that is why I will not come back.
Ooh.
He saw something in her if they have been together for years. In a way, they deserve each other. One is cruel, and the other failed to protect me. We argued and raised our voices, especially when she said I was always problematic and needed too much of my father's attention. Their true personalities came out when she said that spouses come before children. And my father agreed? That's crazy.
Really?
Spouses come before your kids? You can divorce your partner. Your kid is always going to be your kid.
Yeah. I don't know.
That's kind of crazy. to me.
I get that.
That's kind of crazy to me.
Really?
Yeah.
That you would prioritize your spouse over your kids?
Absolutely.
In this scenario, yes. But overall,
I don't think like
I disagree with that. I think like I would prioritize my spouse over my kids.
what?
Yeah.
In what way?
Okay. The scenario I'm thinking about is day to day.
Okay.
They want to do sports and they're all crazy, like, oh,
Mhm.
like, Dad, I need to go to basketball practice here. Dad, I need to go to this here. Da, 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 da. Day to day, that's going to strain my relationship with my wife because I'm going to have to be an Uber driver for these kids. Thus, I'm going to be like, guys, Mondays, it's your only day you guys can play basketball.
What?
Well, like, they can play on the weekends too, but like on practices on Mondays,
I
you
think
guys can do that.
I mean, you should
But I'm not.
make sure you have a good relationship with your partner while you are raising kids.
Yeah, and I know like kids will be tough, but what I'm trying to say is I'm going to make sure they're good, they're well kept, and everything like that. I'm not overextend myself to my kids so I don't spend time with my partner.
Well, yeah, you want to make sure you have a good relationship, but I don't think that means you're I don't know. I
mean, we can have different opinions.
I disagree.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the way that the dad's going about this
Yeah.
is completely wrong.
I could not help but compare that to my mother and Luigi, who always put me and his son first. My mother always asked me if Luigi treated me well when they were getting to know each other. By the way, you can treat us well by listening to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. And there is a little bit left to this story, but it seems like you've got the people you need in your life. And that's all you need.
Yeah. Luigi's pulling some weight here.
Yeah, Luigi knows how to parent.
He knows what unconditional love is.
Yeah.
We love Luigi. Team Luigi.
Team Luigi
Luigi was
for the
always my
win.
favorite Super Mario bro.
of the two.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, come on, look at me.
that makes sense.
I'm wearing green.
He's got a mansion. Does he? Is that his mansion?
So
Luigi's
Luigi's
mansion?
haunted mansion, yeah.
Mhm,
I
mhm.
never played it though.
Did he like buy the mansion?
I think he's just exploring it,
Okay.
kind of his premise.
In the end, I made it clear that as long as they're married, I will never step foot in that house again and will never be in the same place as her.
Ooh.
I told my father I also need space from him. He said he loves me, but I am tired of that kind of love. I felt depressed for a few days, but today we finished decorating the house for Christmas, and my mother's excitement rubbed off on me. Luigi went to pick up his son, so tomorrow we will all be together. Maybe I let my stepmother win, but I think I'm winning too by not having her in my life. Top commenter says, you did not let her win. You won by standing up for yourself. Your dad is the one who truly lost. You set boundaries, and he chose to prioritize her over protecting his child. He may realize it one day when he misses graduations, weddings, and future grandchildren. Until then, he is only himself and her to blame. I'm glad you have Luigi in your life, and I wish you all the love and happiness you deserve. And that is the end of the story.
Wow.
There
We're
you
going to get a
go.
lot of heat for the prioritizing your partner over your kids.
I think it's good to make sure that your relationship is still strong while you are raising children,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think I would consider that prioritizing your children or your relationship over your children. Because I think when you bring a child into the world, you kind of
No, you're definitely responsible for it.
you got to make sure they're all good.
Man, step parents. I never had one.
Nor did I.
Yeah, I don't really know.
Like, maybe we should go check out those Facebook groups.
To get some insight.
Yeah.
Uh,
Insight on these stepmothers
Has
and
anyone
stepparents.
had a good step parent before?
I feel like we've had a lot of people in our chats who have said they've had really good step-parents, so let us know in the comments. But we've got another story coming right up.
My wife cheated to find herself and lost everything instead.
Well, she sure did F around and find out.
I, 40 male, confronted my wife, 35 female, of 10 years about her infidelity a few hours ago, and I'm utterly at a loss. She has been my life partner for 16 years. We have 4 children together, and I considered this my little patch of heaven on earth compared to the rest of my dysfunctional family's drama. I really thought I had it all. And by the way, this comes from user Goals in Mind. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
And I'm Angie.
I'm Riley.
And we're here to give you good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We're not the Pharaoh. We only know what we would do in this situation. So if you would do something different, let us know in the comments. OP says, our marriage has had its ups and downs. I am a flawed person and a flawed partner. She helped build me up from nothing into a successful functioning member of society. Throughout our marriage, she accused me of cheating without providing proof. I have never touched nor entertained another woman. She is my literal world. Then came the offers of hall passes, and she said she felt bad she couldn't compromise on our differences in libido. I am high libido, and she is a low libido. She was high libido at the beginning of our relationship, even up to 2 years after our first child, before it waned to near nothing. When I voiced my frustrations and options for recovery, like a hormone panel, HRT, meditation, counseling, she turned them all down and said, this is how it's going to be from now on. Then the offers of open marriage and cheating accusations started.
Oh,
How are you going to offer open marriage and then also accuse cheating?
What?
it's because they didn't read the poly handbook.
Pick a lane, girly
Dang.
pop, pick a lane. Fast forward 8 years later in the marriage. I bought a house for us. I bought her car. I provided everything I thought she wanted. I come to find out that she pursued a coworker of hers,
What?
planned a time and date to meet at our house, and then cheated on me.
Oh, it was projection.
The proof was exhaustive. Filthy text messages, pictures, videos sent to him. She couldn't even be bothered to expend 5% of that energy in maintaining our physical or emotional relationship. It was like she was another person, her younger self, when we first met. It was so graphic, I don't think I can recover from what I saw. He came over when I was at work, and they performed many spicy acts for hours in our home.
Why are we getting all these details?
None of these she would do with me. Intimacy with me was very minimal and more basic than what could be considered vanilla. I even had a 15-minute time limit before she started getting irritated.
Irritated? Oh, You poor thing.
Dang.
She started getting irritated while you're boinking?
What a way to put it.
Oh
You
my
started
gosh.
the timer.
15 minutes and then
Crazy.
she's irritated. That sucks, dude.
So, after he had left, we had the spicy sleep that evening, and she didn't bat an eyelash. I found out a day after and confronted her with the evidence after I had a gnawing feeling in my gut that something was really wrong the last few days. She was hiding her screen from me, texting and giggling, things she never does. I asked her if it was a sick joke to see if I would snoop on her and to catch me red-handed. I have never snooped. I always only asked her openly and believed her. And she confirmed everything about her infidelity. She cried. She was remorseful. In my mind, only because she was caught. She confirmed that if I didn't find out, she never would have told me, and it would likely have continued.
Yikes. Yikes. At least she's being honest now. I guess.
My world is shattered. I wanted to run screaming into the night. Me too, buddy. Many intrusive thoughts. Her only reason for doing so was to find out if she was ace, had responsive desire, had any desire for me, or no desire at all, or desire for another man. She said there was no emotional connection, but it was clear that was false, based on their long text conversations, planning to meet again, and their many hours working together. It's 4 a.m. now. You're right. I don't know what to do. I'm an emotional wreck, and I don't want to make any decisions while I'm in this state. My mind is telling me to cut her loose, as she picked me and the family last and put emotional and physical cheating first. My heart is fighting the rational thoughts. I love her, but I'm hurting from the betrayal. I want to try and salvage this, but is it even worth it? She's agreeing all of a sudden to hormone panels and counseling. I called off work tomorrow. I want to spend some time with our kids. They don't need to know. There are no friends I can talk to about this, no one in my family either, as it'll just be another footnote in my family's messed up history. What can I do? I'm spiraling. We have an update.
Well,
It's time to divorce.
I believe
It's
so.
time to divorce. It's time for you to divorce. You've got to get a divorce. Go and divorce your wife. Divorce your wife.
Do it.
Yeah, you got to divorce your wife.
Yeah, it was like, it's also just, it's weird that part of what she's doing to like make it up to you is to agree to go to those like hormone paneling things. But it's like
Girl.
but we know that that's not a problem. We know that that's not the issue here.
Yeah, you just banged your coworker.
Yeah. And you
With like
just don't
much
like it with me.
gusto. Like it wasn't like a
Yeah.
well, I wrote up the contract and I guess she'll come over around. It was you're sending pics, you're sending videos, you're
Yeah.
sending smut texts.
Dude, all this crazy stuff that you guys didn't do. Like that's just, it's such a silly, like it doesn't make sense. Like, yo, yeah, well, see, now my hormones are fixed. Now we are all good. It's like, no, well, you just been like that. You just didn't tell me. You didn't want to be like that with me. So, you know. And they've got kids, dude. They've got
Yeah, dude.
kids.
It's kids.
Uh,
Update. It's day 2 post D-Day. I finally allowed myself to cry. Not gonna lie, I got a real ugly cry face.
we all do.
I think all the anger and confusion, disassociation from the truth, and denial were blocking a very necessary realization that this marriage is done. Once that hit, it's been Niagara Falls here. Triggers are really easy, and I wish they weren't. The time, 11:26, the act of physical cheating, for example. My heart rate increases, the eyes start misting. 11:27, and all the emotional weight drops off my shoulders, and I have zero energy or motivation to do anything. Twice a day. Been looking at replacement furniture for everything that was touched. Dang. Kids think I'm weird for doing interior decorating. Speaking of the kids, I met with each of them individually during quiet times and told them how amazing and important they are to me, each other, and the world. I have to stop
Aw.
because the tears start falling and I don't want them to see.
Aww.
Therapy will be scheduled Monday through my employee assistance program at work. It's better than what my health insurance provides. Looking forward to unpacking all this and finding my sense of self again. And the part you're all waiting for is not terribly exciting. She's seeking counseling for herself to heal and attempt to fix what was broken in her in the first place. And I'm glad she's doing that for herself. Yes, I shouldn't care after being betrayed. Yes, I should be angry, but I'm not vengeful. And it's not so easy to stop caring for someone just like that. And there's another update. Wow. To say it's been a roller coaster is an understatement. I feel like I've been on every ride in the amusement park twice. I'm almost 4 months post D-Day. Legal counsel has been acquired. Divorce has been initiated, and now the 6-month waiting period, California, is in effect. She has been scrubbed from all my social media and my devices. My life has been sanitized as much as possible. We made it through the holidays amicably for the kids. Sometime around Thanksgiving, I emerged from my own denial fog and chose myself. It was an amazing moment of clarity. I realized that the abuse I was subjecting myself to was really not her fault. It was because I was allowing myself to feel this way. Waiting on her to make a decision, relying on her to choose. After I took my agency back, there was a drastic change. I started to realize all the things she accused me of were her own insecurities, and she was projecting them onto me. Calling me controlling, calling me insecure, calling me weak. All the things I suppressed about myself in order to make her happy have been resurfacing while I heal and find myself again. I dance. I sing. I dress how I want. I exercise again. I go out. I am choosing me. And as a result, she is losing control and becoming more erratic. We used to share locations, and she would always proclaim to everyone I was checking on her. No, not once actually did I do that. It turns out she was using it to monitor me so she could find time to cheat. She even took screenshots and videos every hour and sent them to her friends, who eventually alerted me for concern over my safety. After I turned off location sharing, she started to find other ways to keep tabs on me, asking people I was out with, who I was talking to, who I was dancing with. Eventually, these people blocked her, and her circle shrunk. She takes videos of me dancing and sends them to people saying how annoying and stupid I look. She records when I sing and posts about how idiotic I am.
Oh my god.
Which is crazy because that just makes her look like a bitter, petulant little child.
Yeah, and yeah.
And everyone's just gonna go, yo, who's this cringe woman?
And they did, pretty much.
The most cringe thing you can do is call, like, whimsy, like, ugh,
Yeah.
like, ew, that's icky. Like, oh, he's enjoying life.
Right.
Ugh, gross. Look how dumb and stupid he is. It's like,
it's like
oof.
you can joke a little bit if you're like in person with someone, just like haha, like oh that looks like funny, but it's like because you're there with them and you're like gonna go join in later or something like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's all in good fun. But yeah, on like social media when no one is like in on the joke, if there even is one, you know, it's like
no, it's just
it just looks
yeah.
embarrassing. Like why do you
Yeah.
have a problem with that?
You just look like the worst kind of person.
Yeah.
What little friends are left follow me around when I go out so they can report back to her what I'm up to. And she dared to call me controlling. I gray rock and for the most part do not engage. She cries on the floor and I just walk by without acknowledgement. You're still living together? What, for the kids? This is not a good...
I guess so, yeah.
No.
I know. Well, I guess they've got nowhere to go. She does.
I guess so. She asks how my day is, and I put on my headphones and pick up a book instead of answering. At Thanksgiving dinner with my in-laws, she told me she feels as if everyone has abandoned her. I shouldn't have said anything, but I opened my mouth for the last time. I told her she abandoned herself when she chose to cheat and destroy our family. In doing so, she abandoned everyone else. No one left her. She was speechless. She has now slept with 21 random men, and the number is increasing, often going out 2 to 4 times a week and using my house as a hotel to wash up between. She doesn't use any protection. She tried to sleep with me again, but I told her she's diseased and to please not breathe too close to me. I feel such pity for the wretched creature she's become, chasing her validation. Can't wait to buy her out and accelerate my healing. I don't wish any ill will or karma for her. In fact, I want her to heal from this so she can be a better person and continue to parent effectively, as our children are the real victims of her infidelity. And by the way, you can listen to full episodes of stories just like this on your favorite podcast platform, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever it is. Just search OK Storytime. You've got like over 1,700 hours worth of stories to listen to.
It's a whole lot.
I would honestly consider getting you and the kids out of the house while she's in this kind of state. I don't know. The kids are bound to pick up on whatever's going on.
She doesn't seem very stable right now, for sure.
And it just seems like a insane situation to be in for 6 months.
Yeah.
If she's, you know, who knows? You know, she's throwing tantrums on the floor. I don't know. Kids are priority one.
Yeah, that was very nice of him. Something I kind of honestly wouldn't think of, or I don't know, is a nice way to put it, that like the kids are the real victims here.
Yeah.
That was very nice of you, but you know, you're also a victim here too. You're the one that got cheated on. But that's very kind of you for looking out for them.
Yeah, it just shows where
You're a
his
good
heart's
guy.
at.
Yeah.
Update number 3. I'm still in individual counseling and plan on continuing it for other reasons. The affair is no longer a topic of discussion. I also hope to taper off my SSRI in the next months. Sleeping is back on track. My revenge body is amazing. All my weight lost has been regained. I've got new hobbies and new friends. I feel like I'm living rather than just being alive.
Aww.
I haven't felt this peaceful in months. And that's the end of that
Wow.
story. Dude's got the revenge bod, living the dream.
Yeah. Dude, good for you,
Yeah.
dude.
My mother mocked my boyfriend's awful past and refused to apologize about it.
Well, your mom sounds like an awful bag of gas.
Trigger warning for grief. 2 years ago, my boyfriend's younger brother passed away in a motor vehicle accident at the age of 11. It was a really tough time. My boyfriend still hasn't gotten over it completely. He was a very caring older brother, and I know that he loved that kid as much as he loved me. His younger brother was in the car with his mom when it happened,
Oh, no.
and my boyfriend doesn't blame his mom for what happened, but I suspect that my mother does. By the way, this comes from She Crossed the Line. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Carly. And
I'm Dakota.
I'm Sophia.
we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we'd do. Let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, my mother usually has her heart in the right place, but she has a really big mouth. She doesn't really like my boyfriend because she thinks he's not emotionally equipped to be a father, so she can be pretty rude to him. We've had discussions about how she treats him in the past, and I've made it very clear to her that I want to marry this guy, but she still hasn't changed. My boyfriend and I came to visit my parents for the week, since my dad is turning 64. This morning, my mother and I got into an argument because she was still trying to baby me, even though I'm a full-fledged, self-supporting adult. She tried to correct my toothbrushing motions. We all got into the car to go out for brunch when my mom told me my seatbelt was secured too loosely. My boyfriend smirked a little because he was there when I discussed babying to my mother, and she was not happy with his reaction.
Wow, with just a smirk. So she's going to go from he smirked at you being a helicopter parent to, yeah, how do you feel about your mom unaliving your whole family?
Whenever she feels belittled, she gets vicious, but she definitely went way too far this time. I don't remember what she said exactly, but it was something along the lines of, I care about the well-being of my children. Maybe if you or your mother cared as much as I do, your younger brother would still be here. Do you find negligence funny? Car went silent right after that. My dad
Dang.
noped the F out, and my boyfriend just sat there in shock. I was furious at my mom, but I didn't know what to do, so I coarsely told her to get out of the car and go back inside the house. She refused, unsurprisingly, so I took my boyfriend, who was silent the entire time, to our car and drove him to a hotel.
Dude, the speed at which the palm of my hand would be traveling towards that mouth, my fingers would break the sound barrier. And I would say, sorry, I just wanted to smack the taste out of your mouth because what you said was so bitter, I thought it might taste bad.
Yeah.
Wow.
I promised him he didn't have to spend the rest of our trip at their house. He hasn't said much since the incident, but I can tell he's very upset with my mother. I'm very worried that what my mother said re-triggered the depression he went through immediately following his brother's passing. Any ideas regarding how I should handle this? I am unbelievably mad at my mother right now, but I don't even know what I can do about it. My dad is trying to stay uninvolved, which makes me mad at him too. My boyfriend has been watching soccer all day, and he doesn't want to talk about what my mom said, so I'm very concerned about him as well. We do have a mini update. You got anything, or you want the mini update? What's your advice? What would you do?
Unsure what to do about your mom. Like, I would like probably never speak to my mom again if she said something like that to anyone.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be seeing her at all for the rest of this vacation.
Like, yeah, I don't know. Like, that would, like, that's such a level of like like in response to like not even a comment, not even an insult. The boyfriend smirked at her mom, being like, "That's not how you wear your seatbelt. The seatbelt needs to be tighter," which is already like that's
Insane.
not how that works. But that's funny, right? It's just like a can't believe she's trying to tell you how seatbelts work. And then she goes, "Oh, you're laughing back there? Why are you laughing about your dead family?" It's like, you're not well. You're not. You are
Yeah.
unwell, and I don't want to associate with you if you have any capacity to say something like that
Not a single bit.
to not just a stranger, my boyfriend,
Right.
who
And then to
have
refuse
told
to
you
get out
I
of the
want
car.
to marry this man,
Right.
and you say this to him.
And
I
then
got
when I'm
nothing
like-
left to say to you.
When I'm like, get out, you're like, no, I'm staying in the car.
I'd
Okay,
be
well,
like,
everybody else is leaving, so bye.
face window.
I spoke with my dad, and he agreed to pack up our stuff and bring it to our hotel. My boyfriend and I will be leaving tonight. Good. I've not spoken with my mother since leaving, and I don't intend to. My boyfriend is still visibly upset, but I know he's happy we're going home. She has been rude with him in the past, and I should have put my foot down well before this point. We got another update. We'll just go right into it. My mother is unbelievable. I'm not sure if she's a self-absorbed person, but she is most definitely a witch. On Thursday, I called my father and asked him to bring us our stuff to the hotel so we could begin our 3-hour drive back home. When he arrived, he apologized profusely to my boyfriend for what my mother said, and they both shook hands and agreed to move on. I ended things on amicable terms with my father because I don't think it's fair to blame him for what my mother said. He is probably enabling her, but he promised me he would talk to her about making steps towards fixing things. I asked my father privately about my mother's reaction to everything, and he told me that she was very disappointed in me for making this trip about me and my relationship. Apparently, she does not want to speak to me until I apologize to her, who says what she says and then demands an apology. I'm especially hurt because she did all of this right after I finished expressing my excitement to her about discovering something that led me to believe my boyfriend was planning on proposing to me soon. On the car ride home, I tried to cheer my boyfriend up by asking him about the soccer and tennis games he was watching. Usually, he will happily explain everything to me, but this time he barely said anything, so I decided to give him some space. When we got home, he seemed much more at peace with what happened, so I was hoping that we could just put my mother behind us and move past this. Yeah, my mother demanding an apology isn't the unbelievable part. Our home phone had a voicemail from my boyfriend's dad asking us to call him. My mother actually called my boyfriend's parents to question their parenting directly.
What a thorough lady.
She really wanted to make sure everyone knew how awful she was.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, who does that? This is far beyond what I thought my mother would ever be capable of. My boyfriend's mom won't get on the phone with us, but his dad said that she's been sobbing nonstop. I feel sick to my stomach about everything. My mom won't reply to my messages or my calls because she's still waiting for an apology. And my poor dad is caught in the middle of everything during his birthday weekend. My boyfriend, someone who's traditionally very agreeable and calm, is livid. He told me he wants her out of his life completely, and I agreed with him. His parents live on the other side of the country, so he feels completely helpless. It's like my mother erased all of our therapy sessions and counseling in one day. Yesterday was pretty uneventful. My boyfriend and I just hung out for the majority of the day. Neither of our mothers has spoken to us. I was very close to my mother when I was younger, and while we did drift a little bit after college, I still frequently confided in her. I always knew she had a big mouth, but her current actions are just hateful. She is deliberately trying to hurt people I care about.
So yeah, she was probably actually always like this your whole life, but she just had never directed it at you because she didn't have a reason to. Now you have a boyfriend
Yeah.
you're planning on marrying. She feels like, she feels like she's losing the control that she's had over you your entire life. And yeah, if I was your boyfriend, I would be doing nothing but scheming on how to ruin your mother's life. Straight up. I don't think you should do that. I'm not saying that that's the avenue that should be taken, nor is it the one I condone. I can only tell you what I would be doing, and I would be plotting her downfall for the rest of my days until it happened.
Yeah.
For calling my mother, who was in the car when that happened to my siblings, and then telling her, bringing this up to her?
I cannot
Mm-mm.
believe that she went and called. Like, that's ridiculous.
Nah, like, I'ma get
The
you-
beginning was ridiculous. She made it so much worse.
I'm going to get you.
Yeah, I certainly
Now
would
I am
never be
going to
talking to
get
again.
you. I don't know how, but I'm going to get you.
Dakota's gonna get you. Update 2. Sorry if this update is all over the place. I'm still trying to absorb everything that has happened. After reading some articles about self-absorbed people and enabling self-absorbed people, I realize it is impossible for me to maintain a healthy relationship with my father without a drastic change in his relationship with my mother. I have always been daddy's little girl. Knowing that it's very likely my father will not be walking me down the aisle cuts my heart like a knife. I called him on Saturday while my boyfriend was privately Skyping with his parents. He told me he was happy to hear from me and explained that my mother was going through our family photos to throw away pictures of me. How is the dad still not also giving the mom crap for this?
How do you stay with that
How do
thing?
you stay with that?
How do you stay with a creature throwing away pictures of your own daughter?
Hey, what you doing, honey? Just erasing our daughter from existence. What are you doing?
Oh.
Talking to her? No.
Yeah.
I'll erase you next.
Mm-mm-mm.
He saved all of the pictures, but he did not stop her from throwing them out in the first place. I asked him if he repeated anything from our last phone call to my mother. He did. I asked him if he could promise me that would stop, and he could not. I started sobbing and told him that I could not keep him in my life while he was still enabling my mother's behavior. He joined me in crying and repeatedly begged me to make up with my mom.
What do you mean?
You go talk to your wife, dude! I explained to him very clearly why that would not happen, and we both sat silently on the phone for what felt like an hour. He broke the silence by telling me that he was proud of me and that he loved me more than anything in the world.
Apparently not. Apparently you don't love me more than your terrible wife who's throwing away all my pictures.
My boyfriend heard me sobbing, walked into the room, hugged me, and asked who I was on the phone with. Eventually, he asked to speak with my father, and after their conversation, my boyfriend asked me if I sincerely believed that I had to cut my father out of my life. I explained to him that we would never be able to move past this while I was still in contact with someone who allowed my mother to continue her hateful actions. My boyfriend accepted my response and reminded me that it was my decision to make. I finished the call with my dad by telling him that he needed to get my mother help and he needed to put his foot down. He understood and he promised me that he would do whatever it takes to get me back into his life, including a divorce if my mother continues her refusal to work on herself. But right now, he wants to keep pushing to get my mother help because he loves her. After my phone call, my boyfriend and I had a serious discussion about everything that's happened. I convinced myself that he was going to leave me. I'm well aware that I am the sole reason he has to deal with all of this, and to be frank, I feel responsible. But instead of breaking up with me, he asked me to tell him how I was feeling about everything and how I need him to support me. I told him everything. He also suggested that I begin meeting regularly with his therapist, at least for now, and I accepted wholeheartedly. After our talk, he wanted to think about everything in quiet, but he asked me to sit with him. We sat together and said nothing for hours. He just asked me to be with him. Eventually, he began to talk about his brother. We shared familiar stories with each other and cherished them as if they were new. We both celebrated his brother's beautiful life together. I was troubled when he started talking about things he could have done differently. Obviously, I immediately explained that nothing about the loss was his fault, but I'm not sure he believes that the awful things my mother said are untrue. I offered to Skype with my boyfriend's parents to express my grief and offer my support to them. It went very well. His parents were lovely as always. I explained to them how much my heart aches for them and how I have cut off contact with my parents completely. They told me that they loved me very much and that they would lend an ear if I ever needed guidance. I wrote my mother a very long email explaining why I would no longer be speaking to her or my father. I detailed how her actions hurt me and the people that I loved. I explained how betrayed I felt. I told her that she was not acting like the mother that raised me to live virtuously. I asked her to get help. I admitted that I still loved her and my father and would love them unconditionally. But I also explained that I could not sit by and watch my mother destroy herself like this. And I could not idly watch her hurt the other people I love unconditionally. She replied almost immediately, and I could not stop myself from reading her reply. I was foolishly hopeful that she finally understood everything. Instead, she tells me she is disgusted that I'm entertaining my father's notion to get her evaluated medically and mentally. By the way, we'll never be disgusted with you if you go listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, search up OK Storytime. Yeah. We got a little bit more, but before that, what you thinking?
Yo, daddy needs a divorce.
Yeah, your mom is crazy.
Yeah, cool. Boyfriend parents. You got boyfriend parents now.
You got cool boyfriend parents.
You don't need your stinky mama.
No stinky poo-poo
and
parents.
hopefully your dad gets a divorce.
Yeah, and hopefully then you can bring him back into your life.
If she just is unwilling to change or acknowledge that she needs help of any kind, then there's nothing to do but to leave.
Yeah. She says that we're the ones that need the evaluations. She writes that I am a fool for abandoning my family for a man I met at a bar.
Okay.
You know what's crazy, Mother? That a man I met at the bar is doing much better than you in regards to our relationships together.
Crazy.
She finishes by telling me that I am not the daughter she raised, and she will never be able to forgive me for making my father cry because I selfishly want to spend more time with my boyfriend.
That's why your husband was crying for sure.
I cried after I read her letter, not because her words hurt me, but because it's painfully clear that there is something wrong with her. But she's too hurt, scared, or hateful to let us help her. I'm grieving the loss of my mother because I'm afraid I will never see her again. Things are bad now, but I'm very optimistic about my future. I know that any of my boyfriend's possible plans to propose are delayed at best, but I don't think my mother has succeeded in destroying our future family. Thank you so much for all of your support, and that is the end of that story. I don't think that he's gonna go back on him wanting to propose to you. I think that you handled that lovely and you immediately removed the issue from the situation, and he was very happy with you about that. And him coming to you after and like opening up and having you just sit with him in silence and like talk about his brother, I think that's a great sign.
Yeah, it seemed like he was very empathetic and supportive throughout the entire process.
Yeah.
My husband couldn't care less about my illness, so I left.
That leaves me feeling sick to my stomach.
Yeah, right? I feel bad already. There are trigger warnings here of mentions of abuse. So if you don't want to hear that, you don't have to listen to this. My husband, 26 male, and I, 24 female, have been married for a few years and have a baby. We had relationship issues after the baby, but I thought we had resolved them, and he promised he would be better and all that. He did get better. He did his share around the house, and house chores aren't a big issue because he just does what needs to be done without complaint or comment, but something at the back of my head felt off. By the way, this comes from ThrowRA Constant, and if you want to submit your own stories, you can go to the OK Storytime subreddit. I am Savannah.
I am Matt.
And I'm Carly.
And we are here to give some good advice goofily, but we do not have all the answers. We only know what we do. So let us know what you do in the comments. As OP says, I never really explored the nagging feeling, but now I realize that he never showed me any extra care. In fact, he gets upset or easily frustrated with me if I cause any extra inconvenience. I'm not sure how I didn't notice until now. 2 days ago, I think I got sick. I was feeling that gross, thick skin feeling and kind of lightheaded, and by nighttime, I was shivering and freezing. I was still able to function, so I didn't think much of it. I complained to my husband about it, and then we went to sleep. Yesterday, I woke up feeling like my bones were made of lead. Ouch! I don't know how I functioned yesterday, but it felt like autopilot. My boss messaged me with some tasks, so I did them on my phone before my baby woke up. I rolled out of bed and somehow took my sister to school. I came back and worked some more. Usually I have the energy to flip between being a mom and working, but yesterday I just laid on the floor to work while my 1-year-old watched some Miss Rachel. Then I had to pick up my sister from school, come home to make dinner, and by the time my husband came home, I felt passed away on my feet. Anytime I moved, it felt like I was lagging and my body couldn't keep up. I told my husband this a few times. We ate, and I put the leftovers away and put the baby to sleep while my husband went to his office to do some quick work. After this, I don't really remember because my brain was foggy. I found myself in this office. We exchanged a few words, but I don't remember what. And the next thing I knew, I woke up alone in his office on the floor. That was...
Are you okay, OP?
Yeah, well...
Is this tiredness, or is there something, like, medically wrong?
Yeah, what happened? I felt so heavy and out of it. It took so much effort to get up, but when I got up, all the lights were off, the kitchen was untouched, and he was in bed. I just stood in the kitchen and realized that he just doesn't care. I already knew he wasn't going to clean the kitchen tomorrow and that he didn't care that I felt off. I had a busy day planned and I didn't have time to wash all the dishes the next day. So I loaded the dishwasher and then went to bed. I laid down and 5 minutes later, my husband very angrily told me to turn off the lights in the kitchen. At this point, I had no energy to deal with him, so I ignored him and fell asleep. The next morning, I woke up covered in sweat, but that gross feeling was gone. That's when I realized that I was sick. My husband was upset with me. He wouldn't talk or look at me and was stomping around. I tried to ask him about yesterday, but he just grumbled something about me confusing him.
Oh, so he's a child. You're married to a child. You're married to a little man baby. Throwing tantrums.
Yeah, for real. Everything from yesterday caught up, and I just can't see him the same. I realized that he has never taken care of me or done anything that was inconvenient for him. I've been sick before, and every time it's the same thing. He gets upset at me somehow. Why? Because you're sick and now you can't, like, do your normal tasks? Like, a true man, would pick the slack up, be like, oh, my wife is sick in bed. I can I can help out. I can just do what she needs to do. I know it's not going to be forever. It'll probably be like 2-3 days, a week maybe at most, unless it's like a horrible disease that she all of a sudden has. But like, I can pick up the slack. And I feel like that's just like a normal person would think that.
It's a partnership, right?
Right. After I had the baby, he was upset that nothing was kept up around the house. Yet he got angry with me when I fainted from overexertion at 2 weeks postpartum. Oh my, what? Who is this man? Like, get up, start doing the dishes. Oh, okay. Are you 5? Do I have to take care? Do I have another baby? Huh? I remember him yelling at me that I did this to myself and that it was my fault for not taking care of myself, even though just 2 days before he was telling me that he was angry with me for not keeping up with laundry and that I needed to clean the kitchen because it was starting to smell and he didn't want to cook anymore. Don't even get me started on how he never woke up at night. All these memories hit me and I am just disgusted by him. How did I not see this? What do I even do? Ooh, edit. He just texted me saying he's beat and could barely brush his teeth this morning. I don't even know what to respond. I can't believe I took care of this man every time he got sick and after 2 surgeries. Judgment, not the a-hole. Ooh, update 1 month later. Are
Ooh.
we, what are we thinking? This guy's horrible, obviously.
This guy, leave. Take the baby and
Yeah.
leave because he's clearly not invested in you. And it's like, it's one thing that you've already passed out from exhaustion in the office. He just left you on the floor. He didn't check up on you. He didn't call, like, try to see if you're okay. He didn't call an ambulance. He didn't do any of the work in the kitchen. Like, what happens if something worse goes awry? Like,
Yeah.
he's not doing anything to help you. He's not doing anything to help your child. He's just going to go to bed. That's it.
Yeah.
You need to either go to a therapist or leave or have an intervention of some sort.
Well, I mean, I don't know how long they've been together or whatever, but like it seems like these types of people don't change.
No.
Like they very much are set in their ways, and they want you to like be set. Like, you know, they want to be like, oh, you know, like you said you were gonna do this, so
Yeah.
like if you don't do it, I'm gonna get angry.
Unless
it's
they're
like-
unless they're forced to change, there's going to be no motivation for them to do
Yeah.
it. And even if they do, how long is that change going to stick around? Are they going to maybe try it out for a couple weeks then go right back to where they were?
Exactly. That's how it usually is. Love those people. Anyway, we have an update 1 month later. Whoop. I went to the hospital that day since a shocking percentage of people suspected he could have messed with something. But no.
At least he's not doing that.
However, he did say I had high blood pressure and recommended me to a cardiologist. I still have a month left before the appointment. When my husband got home from work, he was acting like everything was normal. I wanted to see if he would inquire at all about my fainting the night prior, but nothing. So after the baby was settled for the night, I asked him why I woke up alone in his office. He instantly got angry with me and seemed annoyed that I even brought it up. He said I was acting confusing and asked what he was supposed to do. According to him, I should have told him what I wanted him to do. I told him about my visit to the hospital, and he said that going to the hospital was a little much. I told him the doctor said I was showing signs of heart issues, likely caused by stress. He blew up on me. That's a crazy response. To be like, oh, I went to the doctor today and he said I might have heart problems. My first instinct is to be like, are you kidding me? How dare you? Like, you're so stressed. Blah, 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 blah. Who did this to you? And, you know, it's probably all those other people, but not me because I'm the greatest man out there.
Narcissism, lack of self-awareness, selfishness.
Yeah, I hate this man. OP, I hate him. He blew up on me, yelling that I was causing my own early grave and that it was my fault for not taking care of myself. Yep, my fault, sorry. With that, he closed himself in the room, leaving me to clean up after dinner alone again. Except I decided that I wouldn't. Yes, OP! You don't need to, and you shouldn't, because this man is horrible. So, I went on the couch and watched a movie. He came out suddenly friendly and flirty. No way. He tried to lay with me and ask what I was doing. He kept trying to act cute. And when I wasn't showing much response, he got angry and stormed off, locking me out of the bedroom. The next morning, I woke up to him slamming around the kitchen and cussing about how I couldn't even properly clean. I just went to the bedroom and went back to sleep, if you can call it that, because he kept doing things to keep me awake. Later that day, he complained about being hungry because I didn't make him breakfast or lunch. I mean, I can't. I gave myself a break day. I didn't work or focus on the house. I was just a mom and spent time with our baby. We went to the park, the library, and my in-laws. I tried to talk to my mother-in-law about the heart thing, and she responded with, poor husband's name. He's probably going to stress about this.
Well, we found where it comes from then.
Yeah, wait.
Gets that right from his mom.
That's crazy. That's when I realized I couldn't do this anymore. I got pizza for dinner and got home right after my husband. He was not happy, and it was different this time. I tried to ignore his obvious tension. He cleaned the kitchen very loudly, oh my god, and was muttering under his breath. I washed up our daughter and put her to bed, trying not to feel anxious. When I came out, he started talking very aggressively about how I'd been letting myself get lazy and how he wouldn't take my lack of effort. A relationship is a two-way street, he said. I started yelling back about how I cook, clean, and manage his child and work at the same time. So how is it that I'm the one who's lazy when he keeps expecting me to do even more? Things escalated, and it was not pretty. Then he left the house, and I called the police. My baby woke up. The neighbors came because they heard yelling and glass breaking, and it was chaos. Yikes. When he came back, he tried to say I did everything. Oh, this man.
Record everything, OP.
Yes.
Record everything and lawyer
Yes.
up. That's just my mantra for tonight. Lawyer up.
Well, you can say you've listened to every single one of these podcasts, because you can. You can listen to full episodes with stories like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast app and search OK Storytime. There's another relevant update, but what are we thinking?
I'm thinking you divorce this man and let his mom take care of him again.
True. Seems like
But
mom doesn't really
what does he
care.
do? What benefit does he add to your
Yeah.
life? He's already given you the child, which you clearly love. So, like, take the child and run.
I'm still trying to process everything. It all happened so fast. Sometimes I wonder what would have happened if I had just sucked it up and didn't rebel. Would our relationship be fine? I have my first therapy session scheduled for next Tuesday, so I guess I'll talk about everything then. My husband is at his mom's now. Oh, okay, good. I'm at my grandmother's for now and have almost all my stuff out of our apartment. We have a temporary restraining order, and the official hearing is tomorrow morning. I'm scared, if I'm honest. I haven't seen him since that night. My daughter keeps asking me where her dad is, and I don't know what to tell her. There's my update. I feel so numb to it all. I could probably type much more that happened, but it already feels so long. Plus, I don't want to cry again. Oh, P. Aw.
Is there no update after that?
No.
What?
That's it.
No! Oh, P.
And
Are
he
you
ran
okay?
right back to his mom.
He went.
We called it.
I'm gonna put the ending to this.
And they lived happily ever after without
Separately.
this awful man.
And yeah, and OP and the baby lived a happy life without the man-child in the picture. And he, I don't know, passed away. Who knows what could have happened to him? It could have been.
He went to the apple orchard upstate.
He went to the great old apple tree in the sky.
I refused to switch seats with my coworker, and it made her extremely upset.
What is this, musical chairs?
I, 24 male, work in a small office with about 10 people. We recently moved into a new building, and our manager told us we could choose our desks on a first-come, first-served basis. I came in early that day and picked a seat near the window. It's not a special desk or anything, but it has good natural light and a bit of space, which helps me focus. By the way, this comes from Connect Sector 2701, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
And I'm Savannah.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do. Let us know what you would do in the comments. As Opie says, about an hour later, one of my coworkers, Maya, 27 female, came in and asked if I could swap seats with her because she gets migraines and the sunlight might bother her. I didn't have any problems with her request until I realized the only other open spot was near the hallway door where people constantly walk by and talk. I've sat there before and I found it distracting. I told her I understood her issue, but I really liked my current seat and had picked it early for that reason. I also suggested she could close the blinds a bit or wear her blue light glasses like she usually does. She said I was being inconsiderate and told our manager. Our manager didn't directly tell me to move, but asked if I could be nice and accommodate since it would help Maya feel better. I said I would prefer to keep my spot because I'm more productive there and it's not against any rule. Can no one else switch with her either?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, is there no one else? She just specifically wants that seat.
OP was like, that's a direct sunlight seat. It's got really good lighting. And then she was like, sunlight hurts my head.
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's why I'm confused as well.
The manager said fine, but I could tell they were a bit disappointed. Now Maya barely talks to me unless she has to. And another coworker told me it's just a seat. And I could have been more understanding. I kind of feel bad because I didn't want to make anyone uncomfortable, but I also think I was fair since I picked it first and have valid reasons for keeping it. Am I the a-hole for not giving up my seat? And an edit for clarity. A lot of people pointed out that my wording about the desks was confusing, so here's what actually happened. The desk I picked is near a window, but it only gets soft indirect light. Maya's usual desk is by a different window that gets strong direct sunlight, and that light gives her migraines. She asked to switch so she could have my shaded spot. While she was talking to me, another coworker took her seat, so the only desk left for me would have been the one near the hallway where everyone walks by and talks. That's why I didn't want to move. Hope that clears things up. And we have some comments, but before we dive in, any other thoughts?
I mean, I don't think that you're the a-hole. It was first come, first serve.
Right.
And, you know, you ultimately have to do what's best for you. You know, and if it's going to be annoying and it's going to make you, you know, have a negative way towards work or whatever and have a negative attitude and just be annoyed, then then don't do it, you know.
Because my thing is like, yes, hers will affect her one way, which is like medically with the migraines. Yours will affect your work production levels. So it's like you're kind of both being affected in some way. And if she does have blinds that she can put down, I don't know. I would be curious. I think my big deciding factor would be, how much later than you did she come in to claim a seat? Like, if you got there early, was she like 5 minutes right behind you, or was she like hours behind you where all these seats were taken? Then it's like girly pop if you knew it was first come first serve.
True.
But I always feel bad when it's migraines, but like,
but also
keep
like,
your seat.
You know, can't you ask anyone else?
Right,
you
no
know?
one else can switch.
Yeah, I would want to know if anyone else.
Yeah, wait a second. If she had the direct sunlight seat and she wanted to switch with you, someone took that direct sunlight seat and now the only seat left is over near the hallway, that's not the direct sunlight seat anymore. So why can't she take the hallway seat?
Well, she doesn't want the hallway seat.
Why not?
Because she said people go by and talk.
No, that's why OP doesn't want the hallway seat.
Yeah.
I'm saying, why can't Maya take the hallway seat? She just can't have her initial seat because it was in direct sunlight, but that seat's not open anymore. The seat that's open now is in the hallway, so what's wrong with hallway seat?
That's true. I didn't even think that. I just figured like nobody wanted the hallway seat.
Right.
It's like,
Commenter 1. That was a weird move from your manager to let you all sort it out in a scrum and then try to intervene. If she needs a medical accommodation, she can speak to the manager. It's her right to ask, but it's your right to refuse, given the unthoughtful way your manager approached this. Someone replies, agree. To be fair, OP, the person who gets migraines should have thought, where I sit really matters, so I should come in early and be the first come, first served. She didn't. That's no one's fault but hers. Commenter 2 downvoted. I don't agree if early is before her workday starts. She could have had to drop kids off at school or daycare where she can't just go earlier because it's not open. Maya is required to arrange her personal schedule to be at work on time, and I assume she's done that. So it's not fair to say, if she wants a good desk, she'll get there early, because not everyone necessarily has the same opportunity to do that. Someone replies, as a parent, if I had known this was the situation, I would have made arrangements for my child. I was fortunate to have support as a parent, but most people could also arrange a single day of carpooling, even if it's not their norm. If she knows she has a medical issue, she could have communicated with the manager before. My point is, you have to even the playing field yourself because no one else will do it for you. That was her responsibility, not to come in later and try to cajole her way into her preferred desk. She knew her needs and did nothing to get them met. That's all on her. And we have an update. I think I'm kind of on the like, yeah, you probably should have tried to come in early and get your desk. But more so, I'm on the like, what's wrong with this hallway seat for Maya now train.
yeah. I think if she truly had a problem, you know, with direct sunlight and all of that, then it's like, okay, then you need to communicate that with the manager. Be like, hey, if we're gonna, you know, be switching desks and moving seats, whatever, like, can you make sure that one is specifically safe for me because I have, like, issues with, like, migraines and stuff. Like,
can you please
boom.
make sure I'm not in the direct sun? And then the manager can be like, of course, like, we know that you have this medical accommodation.
Yeah. Instead, she just assumed that, you know, people would give up their seat, even though that's no one's issue but her own.
I went back and read it too. Yeah, that hallway seat says nothing about being in direct sunlight. So, like, Maya, girl, you get the hallway then.
Yeah.
Suck it up.
That's it.
Update. Here's a quick update about what happened recently. Alright, so today was honestly a bit rough at work. I got in and right away, I could tell the vibe was off. Maya was already talking to a couple coworkers, and the second I sat down, they kind of stopped talking and just looked at me for a sec. Nobody said anything, but it was pretty obvious something was up. Through the morning, Maya kept doing this thing where she'd walk past my desk and then look away real quick, like she didn't want to make eye contact. Then later, I heard her telling someone that she tries so hard to get along with everyone and that she always gets pushed around. She said something about how I've been ignoring her for months, which is just not true at all. We barely talk, but that's literally the whole office. No one is super chatty here. At one point, she went into my manager's office and stayed in there for like 10 minutes. When she came out, she looked kind of teary-eyed. After that, 2 people who never cared about anything seat-related suddenly started treating me weird. One of them said, "Some people think coming in early means they deserve everything," and looked straight at me. I honestly had no idea what to even say to that. My manager didn't bring it up to me directly, but they acted weird around me for the rest of the day. Like they knew drama was brewing and didn't want to get in the middle of it. I'm starting to feel like Maya told them a whole different version of what happened. Probably made it sound like I was doing it on purpose or something. And by the way, I'm purposely going to let you know that you can listen to more episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, wherever you get your podcast, search up OK Storytime. There's a little bit left. This office sounds god awful. If none of them are actually listening to what you're saying and like they're just starting to like form a group against you, like good God, grow up, people. It's seating arrangements in an office. She has a desk that's not in direct sunlight.
Like, the end. That's it. Like, it's really not that big of a deal.
Right. We asked to switch. You said, hey, no, not going to switch. I would be really unproductive over there. They didn't ask a single other person to switch, and you had a desk in a hallway that we don't have any, like, we have not heard that desk gets direct sunlight. So I'm like, what is the issue?
Yeah.
This is dramatic.
Yeah, it's just dramatic for literally no reason.
It feels like a small group is kind of teaming up with her and trying to paint me as the a-hole in the office. Not super aggressive or anything, just this passive, weird energy where they act cold or whispery when I walk by. I just keep to myself and did my work. I'm hoping this passes in a day or two because I really don't want to deal with office politics over a seat of all things. If anything else crazy happens, I'll update again, but for now it's just kind of awkward and kind of draining. We have some comments. Commenter 1, going into your shell isn't going to win you anything here. Get in front of this. All you're doing is letting her control the entire narrative. OP says, well, what are my options? Someone replies, tell the actual story. Point out everyone else got to pick their seats and that your manager is the one who set the rules. All you did was follow them. Point out that they could all swap seats with her if they wanted to. I imagine plenty of them have seats that wouldn't have the issues she complained about. This is generally a great way to get everyone else to shut up. Ask someone exactly what is being said about you. If there's anything that can be taken to HR, assuming your HR exists and does its job, make sure you document it all properly. Make it clear that you aren't going to be bullied by them. When she walks past your desk, smile, ask how her day's going. At the moment, you are behaving like she is in the right when she isn't. That's the end of that story. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Very big on the whole, any of them can switch with her.
Yeah. So I don't understand why, like, they're making it just OP's problem.
Right.
Like, I really wanted that one. I would have been like,
there's no way that that's the only we know it's not the only desk that's out of sunlight.
My husband got me a cheap ring from Temu, and I hate it.
You probably get a better husband off Temu, honestly.
My husband, 37 male, and I, 33 female, have been married for 10 years and together for 14. We've been struggling in our marriage the past year, mostly me not feeling loved or appreciated, or like he even likes me at all sometimes, and him getting frustrated about it. By the way, this comes from user Southern Fried Weirdo, and this comes from our subreddit.
Nice.
So if you want to get your story read just like this person, submit it to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Keon.
I'm Dakota.
And we're here to give good advice goofily. We only know what we do. We only know so much. So let us know what you do in the comments. Pretty please. As OP says, anyways, we haven't bought gifts for each other the past few years because we just focus on the kids. Well, that and he never uses the gifts I buy him, even when they are exactly what he asked for. One year, he asked for a fish tank. I got him a huge fish tank at PetSmart, and my parents got him a $100 PetSmart gift card. The tank sat in our shed for 6 years until I gave it to my dad. And my dad was super excited and put fish in that weekend. Then another year, I got him a nice dartboard after he said he really wanted one for our porch. It's still in the box sitting in our laundry room after 2 years. This year, I told him I wanted a really thoughtful gift from him. Something that he thought I would love. Something to do with my interests. Something he saw that reminded him of me. Nothing crazy, but thoughtful. We opened Christmas gifts early because I have to work Christmas Eve night and Christmas night. Hospitals never close. He got me a phone attachment that you put on your phone via a magnet sticker that comes with it and connects to your phone's Bluetooth and has a camera button that you can press to take photos on your phone. The phone that already has a camera button. He also got me 2 pairs of the exact same fleece overalls 2 different sizes because he wasn't sure. They are both way too small because I have a long torso and have trouble with overalls anyway. I thanked him for the gifts and then just forgot about it. Later, he made a joke about how I didn't have to use the gifts if I didn't want to because they were just cheap stuff from Temu. I was shocked, but just kind of laughed it off because I didn't want to fight on our Christmas day. I looked up the items on Temu and sure enough, they were there. He spent $15 on the camera thing and $22 on each pair of overalls. His gifts cost me about $600 total. A Milwaukee pole saw that he specifically picked out. A thing that keeps fitted sheets in place because he complains about ours moving all the time. A Carhartt shirt. A new fire pit because ours broke last winter and he loves sitting outside by a fire. And some undies from a brand he had been wanting to try. I feel like I put in actual effort. He also took our 3 kids, who are 4, 6, and 7, to Hobby Lobby to let them pick me out a few things. The kids did great. They picked out a Bigfoot picture to hang on the wall, a diamond painting kit, and some wood blanks to paint. All of those things match my interest, and I truly love them. I do appreciate him doing that at least. But the gifts actually from him? I'm so disappointed. This happened after our 10-year anniversary in October when I didn't get the ring upgrade he's been promising me for 10 years. We talked about it for weeks, and I designed the ring exactly how I wanted and sent him the link. He agreed and even said that I could pick a more expensive stone. I told him I was okay with the less expensive stone and really just wanted a ring that fits because my original engagement ring has been too small ever since my knuckles grew slightly bigger when I was pregnant with our 2nd child. The anniversary came, and guess what? No ring. I asked about the ring, and he said that he thought I was going to order it. I was so disappointed, but I just let it go. I do want to point out that he is the best dad I can ask for when it comes to our kids. He spent days building a treehouse as their Christmas gift from him. I've been a stay-at-home mom for 5 years and just recently went back to work part-time only because I wanted to, now that my youngest is in school. We do not struggle at all financially. And by the way, you can listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Go to your favorite podcast app such as iHeartRadio, Apple Podcast, or Spotify and search up OK Storytime. We have a plethora, a whole ocean of stories.
The whole ocean.
The whole ocean. There's a little bit left here.
I think you guys need to try counseling to figure out what the gap here is. Sounds like he's a good dad. So why is he being such like a unthoughtful partner?
Or a terrible listener. But that's gut goes in the same mindset. OP, from what I've been getting, is that you just keep getting disappointed, and at this point, you're just like, I don't care anymore. Like, I'm okay with just the bar being so low and just being okay with that. Again, he doesn't have to get you the most expensive gift, but it's the type of gifts he gets you and just how he goes about it. He's not even excited to make you happy.
No. He's just like, I got you overalls. What?
And then when it comes to you, it's just like you go above and beyond, and you should be appreciated for what you get him. And like you, obviously, his love language could be something totally different from yours. Gift giving is obviously yours because you go above and beyond. But he's a great father, but he also should be a great partner and a great husband to you.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. You're not like, again, you're not asking for purses, things left and right, but to be appreciated and be loved and like given something that you want, should be delivered from his end. It's a little bit left here. I am not a materialistic person at all. I never really do or buy anything for myself. I put my needs behind his and our kids every time. Most of my clothes come from thrift stores, which I do love, while he always turns his nose up if I buy him anything secondhand. I busted my butt creating Christmas magic for our kids. Even though he paid for all of our kids' Christmas gifts, I put in the mental energy of deciding what to get them, making sure it was fair, wrapping everything, and playing Santa. I did not go to bed that night before 3 a.m., while he went to bed around 10 p.m. and left me to do it all myself. I just feel like he put no thought or effort into my gifts, and I'm so disappointed. I also feel selfish for feeling that way. Would I be the a-hole if I brought it up, or should I just let it go? And we have some comments. No.
Yeah.
I've seen you 3 times in the story. I'm disappointed. I'm just so disappointed. At a point, this shouldn't be your relationship. You shouldn't be disappointed in your relationship time and time again.
Yeah, it's true. It's really, you wouldn't be the a-hole for bringing it up. I think it just needs to be brought up in a way where it's like, hit him with the "you're a great dad" real right out the gate. But it's like, it feels like, I don't know, it feels like you're just checked out. It just feels like you're checked out. Like, what's going on? Like,
Yeah.
why is that?
We have some comments. Comment number 1 says, bring it up. You've been together long enough. You have kids, and it sounds like your relationship is good. Communication is key, honestly, as you probably know. It wouldn't hurt to voice how you feel when it comes to gift giving. OP responds, it's not terrible, but he has definitely been going downhill lately. Comment number 2, not the a-hole. Maybe this year ask for marriage counseling or therapy for yourself. Even if I know what I'm getting for Christmas, I asked for one of the things I asked for my husband for as a surprise. Question, did you give him a list? My hubs doesn't buy me anything. I don't need unnecessary, even if it's from Temu. If he has a clear list and prices to know where to go and buy things from it. Not every guy is perfect, but sometimes if you tell them clearly what you want, they will follow. OP responds with, I do keep an Amazon wish list so I can remember stuff I want when my parents or sisters ask me around my birthday. I've sent him the link a few times over the years, but he's never bought anything from it. I have asked for marriage counseling a few times this past year, but he thinks it's dumb, and he says he doesn't have time. Yikes.
That's not great.
Again, it just sounds like the respect is so far gone.
Yeah, and that comment's acting like it's like, well, have you given him an exact list in bold, like, uppercase letters? It's like,
Well,
it's like the same thing as asking, like, well, have you asked him to, like, you tell him the sky is blue, but have you asked him to look up and make sure? It's like, I don't know, it's just like elementary level, initiative here.
It's giving it goes in one ear out the other, and he just doesn't care. It's a matter of caring, and he doesn't care.
Yeah.
OP keeps saying, he is great if I tell him a specific item, but I wanted this to come from him. And that is the end of that story.
The whole point. I want my Christmas gift to be you taking initiative and getting me something nice. That's it.
My coworker lied about me flirting to cause drama.
Oh.
And this comes directly from the r/OK Storytime subreddit.
Ooh.
Yes. So I, 19 female, started working at this job about 5 months ago. I would consider myself very social, so I quickly became cool with a lot of the people that work there. About a month and a half ago, me, a few coworkers, and a coworker's brother planned to go to the beach to hang out.
Ooh.
By the way, this comes from user AmazingHighway756, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit where this story was submitted. I'm Dakota.
I'm Sophia.
I'm Keon.
And we are here to give you good advice, goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do. So if you would do something different, let us know in the comments. OP says, there were about 6 of us, but the only important people here are these 3, me and 2 other coworkers. Okay, let's call the guy Chris, 26 male, and the girl Alexa, about 24 female. Alexa has been dating another coworker, Alexander, early 20s. For I don't know how long. I have always found them cute together and always complimented their relationship because from how it looks, they are super healthy. When we went to the beach, me, Chris, Alexander, and the 2 other guys walked to where we parked our cars to pay for parking because it was every 3 hours that we had to pay. I went in my own car, another coworker went in their car, and Alexander, Chris, and the rest all went in the same car. Chris was telling me that for some reason Alexa was upset and bothered.
Uh-oh.
I go, oh my God, did I do something to upset her? Because she was always left where all of our stuff was when we went in the ocean. And she was also left behind when we went to go pay for parking. I was also thinking that maybe I said something to make her or her man upset when I was making jokes with the others. Chris told me, I don't know. Later on, he told me that the reason why Alexa was upset was because Alexander told her she couldn't go in the ocean when she asked if she could go in with her underwear and bathing suit top. I was like, oh, okay. But for some reason, out of nowhere, Alexa and Alexander had stopped talking to me. They had this distance, and I felt some type of tension, like they were bothered or uncomfortable. I was confused and kept questioning Chris to tell me what was wrong and why they were upset with me. Chris said, I don't know, but I will ask Alexa what happened. And then Chris told me, don't tell Alexa I told you. But she said that at the beach, she felt like you were flirting with Alexander.
What?
OP continues, I was like, how the heck was I flirting? And he goes, I don't know, but they get very jealous of each other.
That's
I
exhausting.
didn't, but please don't tell her I told you. I kept telling her to ask her, and I started coming up with my own conclusions. Maybe I was the only other girl there, and that's why she got jealous. Maybe it's because I was wearing a two-piece. Maybe because I was going in the ocean with everyone, including her man, and she wasn't. So many things were getting into my head, but I had never flirted with him. I have always spoken to Alexander right in front of Alexa because there was never any reason for me to talk to him. But just a simple, hey, how are ya? It got to the point where I had gotten tired, and I just simply told Chris I was going to text Alexa. I start telling him how I was going to text her, and he goes, okay, but don't say this or that. I go, okay. And I text Alexa a small, simple paragraph saying things like, hey, not to be rude, but if you felt a certain way about me, why not come up to me and tell me how you felt? I miss you, and stuff like that. Oh, no, girl, I'm sorry. That's the wrong way to do that.
Bad.
That was not the right way.
Didn't work. No.
That was the wrong. We got to be a little more tactical in our approach.
Tactical flirting.
So she then goes and tells me in a paragraph that I was a good friend and I should know what I did because I told Chris at the beach. Is Alexa mad at me because I'm flirting with Alexander? My mouth was to the floor. I was pissed because all of this time Chris was telling me that Alexa felt like I was the one flirting with her man at the beach. I go on this whole talk that was like 4 paragraphs long about how I would never do that. That Chris was the one that told me that she felt like I was flirting with Alexander and wanted me to tell her I'm sorry. I sent Alexa screenshots of me and Chris's conversations after the beach. Well, it makes sense now why Chris was like, no, don't tell her I told you and don't say any of this and don't say any of that. I don't want my lies to be exposed, my manipulations.
Yeah, liars want you to keep things under wrap because if you start talking with other people, then their lies get exposed.
Now, why is Chris doing this?
I don't know.
Alexa told me that she was told the complete opposite and said that she never thought I was flirting with Alexander.
Huh?
We talked things out, and then Chris texted me and told me, why would I send messages to Alexa when I should have kept them to myself?
Wait, so Chris is the liar?
Chris is the liar. Chris was instigating.
Chris was the
Chris,
secret werewolf.
Chris goes to Alexa and goes, hey, do you see OP flirting with your boyfriend?
What?
And Alexa's like, not really. Are you sure? And he's like, yeah.
She
yeah,
said,
she
is she mad at
She's
mad
flirting with
I'm
Alexander constantly. And then goes to OP and goes, hey, don't tell Alexa I told you this, but she's upset that you're flirting with her boyfriend.
Dude,
she thinks you're flirting with him.
Come on.
What a freaky weirdo thing to do. Chris said that at the beach, I did say, does Alexa think I'm flirting? I go, bro, you're telling Alexa that I said I was flirting with Alexander, but I didn't officially say anything until after the beach when you said they were jealous of each other. That's when I said, oh, did she think I was trying to flirt with Alexander? Because I was just the only other girl there? Chris goes on this whole 8-minute rant that I am mixing his words, and then I got blocked.
Weirdo
Behavior.
Weirdo alert.
I thought it was weird that he got mad because he has told me other things about my body that I never got upset about.
Oh my God, cut this Chris off.
Yeah, well, he did it to himself.
Yeah,
Good job.
He already did it.
2 months before this happened, me, Chris, another girl, and another guy were on the phone, and the girl kept talking about how big her booty was.
What?
Everyone was super uncomfortable, so I was messing around and said, oh, I don't have a big old booty, but I do have some front airbags that are double Ds. I know I shouldn't have said that. I did apologize after, but the girl kept nagging about her gluteus maximus.
What?
The 2 guys were like, damn. And Chris said something about my frontal section way after the call. I felt kind of weirded out, but Chris goes, don't feel weirded out. I ain't trying to get at you. What a weirdo.
Hey, weird alert.
Weirdo.
Weird alert. Weirdo alert.
Weirdo.
Ring, ring.
By the way, you can listen to full episodes with stories just like this. It wouldn't be weird at all if you went to iHeartRadio, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts and searched OK Storytime. where you can listen to 1,600 plus hours of stories just till the cows come home.
Till the cows come home.
Woof. Clearly, I don't know if your job has an HR department, but
Ring, ring, ring.
I would expect this to, now that Chris has blocked you, probably leak into the jobosphere. So I would get ahead of that.
Yeah, I mean,
that would be my advice.
Especially because he's spreading rumors. I wouldn't trust a guy who spread rumors.
So
yeah.
you don't have to go demand anything from HR or
but
whoever.
you could at least go to a boss or a higher up and be like, hey, this happened.
Yeah.
I just want you to know in case anything further happens.
Right. Just want to make you aware of the situation.
Yeah.
So then, 2 weeks after that call, me, Chris, and some other coworkers, including Alexa and Alexander, went to the LA County Fair. I had pants with some bows on them, and I showed them to two of my coworkers who were girls. I said something like, look at my pants. They have bows on them. Chris then later said, I'm not trying to hit on you, but when you showed your butt to the girls, I kind of looked. I was like, what?
Dude, Chris.
I was like, what the heck?
Chris, stop.
And now OP continues. Now I realized why he kept saying he can't pull girls. I'm bringing this up because, not trying to shame Chris, but he is a bigger dude, and he always says the reason why he can't pull girls is because he's a bigger dude. I told him it isn't his weight, because there are some baddies that go with dudes who are bigger. So, am I the a-hole for telling my coworker something that my other coworker told me not to tell?
Clearly not, because your other coworker was trying to start trouble.
I don't know why Chris did that. That's weird.
I have no idea. Chris,
I don't know.
you suck. Boo. Boo.
Yeah. He's got weird tendencies.
Weirdo, Chris. You're a weirdo.
And
Spreading rumors.
yeah, strange. I don't know if he has a crush on you. I don't know if he has a crush on Alexa.
I think he just has a crush on anyone who he can get.
We got another story coming up for you guys right now.
My husband ignored my stress after I went back to studying.
It's like he just didn't care about you.
I am currently furious with my husband. I have been a stay-at-home mom our entire marriage. I gave up a lot to have our kids, including a chance at an education. It was finally looking feasible to go back. I signed up, have my books, and my first class is today. By the way, this comes from Viper Bunny, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Riley.
And I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do, so let us know what you do in the comments. And OP says, of course, everything has fallen apart. Both my kids are homesick. My car kept me up all night, and my scrub pants haven't arrived in time.
Dang, dude.
Dang.
Oh, that is not a good week.
It was already a hassle. I'm already worried about this working out. What did my husband say to me at 6:45 this morning, seeing me stressed? That's life. It happens. Next week's got to be a problem too, but we'll have to figure it out.
Husband, I love the part where you took in the kids and you decided to get them ready for the day.
Yeah, I didn't see that done.
It's like looking at someone with a broken arm. Well, made out of bones. What else you expect? Not to get broken? No, you help him build a cat.
Then when I get upset, all of a sudden it isn't a problem we have to solve together. He'll just call his mom. Fine, why not just do that and not stress me out?
Just call. He's a mama's.
Why not just call my mom and she can fix it? My mom is really good at that.
Mama's boy.
I needed him to not stress me out about the schedule for 6 hours. I just wanted to get through one class before I had to worry about it. I wanted to go to school on one campus I felt comfortable driving to, but they only offer classes in the city. And it's one of the worst cities to drive in, but it's 3 blocks from my husband's office. So it wasn't going to be a problem. Now, of course, it's a problem. He told me I was unstable and anxious and looking to lash out at him. I really wasn't looking to lash out at him. I thought I could trust him for support.
And then he got his golf clubs and played an 18-hole.
Nice shot!
He's like, stop lashing out at me. I have to go play golf. He has a history of saying he'll be there and then not be there. He left me at a train station once after a traumatic weekend because he didn't hear his alarm. I had to send someone to check on him. He went on a business trip when we all had the stomach flu. When my youngest was born, he said he was going to help me and take paternity leave. That didn't even last 2 weeks, and I was alone with 2 kids under 2. This is not a man that is actually going to help you co-parent. So let's get rid of him because he's not helping you. He's actively being a hindrance to your relationship and to your parenting. Those were all years ago, but they are examples of how when I need him, he doesn't show up. He says he will, and then when it becomes hard, I'm the one to have to give up my dreams.
Oh, that's funny because you're also the one that's taking care of the house.
Yeah.
You're also the one taking care of the kids. You're also the one that has a
mama boy husband that gets upset and calls his mom every time he stubs his toe.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I have no empathy for this man because he's not supporting his wife.
At all. He's not even supporting his kids.
He's not, dude. When's the last time you cooked for your kids?
Never.
You know what? I would be totally okay with this man calling me out, and I could chump check him. I would love to chump check this guy right now.
Get it. Let him at him. Today, I needed a few hours for me, and that was a big fat
no.
It really does make me want to give up because why bother? I am so hurt and angry and anxious. Was I so wrong to get angry and tell him that he could have waited until my class was over? And there are some comments. You were not wrong. He is being a butt, and you should divorce him.
Whoa.
Yeah, I said it.
I don't think divorce yet. I think I have a heart-to-heart, come to Jesus meeting. Hey, look, I'm going through this new season right now.
Yeah.
I'm going to really need you to step up a lot right here. Stop calling your mom at every corner you get to.
But I feel like OP brings that up, and he's like, it's not a problem. Like why are you complaining?
That's why I'm like, have the conversation.
Even more so, yeah.
Make a plan. And if he's not living up to it,
divorce
in your mind, finish school, then leave him.
Yeah. Like, just start, I don't know, see if you can just start, like, forcing that responsibility on him in some way. Be like, oh, sorry, I'm gone. Gotta have to find a way to take care of those kids.
Yeah.
Comment 1. I'm not exactly sure what your husband did this morning, but his comment was not unreasonable. Clearly, he annoyed you in some way. Couples do that often. Living with another person and raising kids is not always rainbows and butterflies. I say this very respectfully. I think you're stressing yourself out. Starting school again is a new adventure. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be a big learning curve, and it's going to take you and your family time to get into a routine. Okay, well, this person is a lot more hopeful. Try to focus on the positives and the solutions instead of the negatives and problems. Not the a-hole. I think you're just here because today didn't work out as planned, and it's a big day for you. Just breathe, hang in there, and try again tomorrow. Y'all will figure it out. Congrats on your new adventure.
Also, don't let your husband get reactions out of you. He's going to try. He's going to do it. Don't let him.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just hungry and more hard on this guy.
I don't care. I'm being hard on him. This is absolutely ridiculous. You need to support your wife. That's why you're in a marriage. That's why you decided to live together forever.
I agree. It's just all the comments are like, like comment 2 says, seems a pretty major overreaction to a benign comment. Also, he didn't make your kids sick, doesn't control the mail delivery system, and your car keeping you up all night. It isn't his fault either. OP says, I know none of that is his fault. I only asked that he waited a few hours before bringing up a problem that he now claims isn't a problem. He wasn't the reason I was stressed at first, but seeing how he hasn't made any effort to do any of the emotional labor he promised, I don't trust him to keep his promise. He's great at following through until it's hard for him. Then it's all my problem.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing from that comment is like.
And that was downvoted.
Okay.
I'm confused because I'm like, it seems like he's in the wrong, but all these comments are like on his side.
This is what's happening. The Reddit community does not realize how long this has been going on.
Yeah.
If this was the first time it happened and she posted about it,
that would be totally different. I'd be like, you're overreacting. But she said,
but
this
it's gotten
has been happening with 2 kids.
Yes, and it's been happening so much that she had to come to internet strangers to find advice.
Yeah. And then another reply says, read that back to yourself. None of this was his fault. He wasn't the reason you were stressed, but you took it out on him anyway. And now blame him. Now you're escalating and bringing in other issues in an attempt to validate your displaced emotions. You can't say he's great at following through while complaining he doesn't do what he says.
OP literally said he's great at following through until it's hard.
All right, Facebook.
You're not reading.
I'm talking to Facebook right now because this is what's going to happen. This is my perception on it, and do not judge me in this video until you've seen this part.
Too late.
This is how I see it. OP was frustrated with her morning.
Yeah.
Husband sees that she's frustrated, does not know why she is frustrated, but the first action that he did, instead of helping her, instead of asking her, he said, this is what life's going to bring you, yada, 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 and proceeded to lecture her while she's going through a big day. Yeah, and he's not, like, he does not see what's happening, and that's why I think you need to have a come to Jesus meeting, because it seems like this is a reaction to a lot of things.
I agree.
And he's not supporting you, and that is the role of a husband, is to support.
Judge me now.
I agree. I think that, like, definitely therapy and stuff and the conversation before you divorce. You have kids. I think the comments are really not taking into account that you've said that this has been going on for a really long time.
Nope. They're just saying, oh, it was just one
Just
comment.
one
Get
comment,
over it.
yeah.
No, it's been comments like that for multiple years, and it is all built up till today.
Exactly. Reply says, I'm a bit confused on how he's supposed to know when's the right time. OP downvoted again. I mean, after class would have been fine. I literally just didn't need any more stress in that moment. Usually this wouldn't be a big deal. It felt like sabotage. There is a lot of history of me having to give up my education for the benefit of my family, and so my PTSD flared. Reply says, but how would you like him to know when a good time would be? Would you like him to just know you well enough? Would you like him to ask before mentioning anything? Yeah. Like, hey, is this an okay time? That's
Especially
really easy to do.
Especially when you guys have been together for this long.
I feel like you literally can just do, hey, is this an okay time to talk? Or are you still stressed?
You should know when your partner isn't like feeling good, or something's wrong, or something's bothering them, or they're annoyed, or they're just upset. It's like reading a book. You should know this by now. Like, maybe not all the time, but like when they're angry or something like that, you should be able to tell like something's off.
Yeah, my first two definitions of love is patient, love is kind. The husband did not display any of that in his comments or in his actions.
If you just expect him to know you well enough, then you're setting yourself up for failure because you're expecting him to be a mind reader. I'm not saying he wasn't trying to sabotage you. Maybe he was, but you both really need to work on communication. OP, again, downvoted because we had the conversation the night before. He knew then and didn't bring it up. But all of a sudden, he has to tell me this first thing in the morning. I told him last night that I needed the peace of mind getting through my first class. I don't understand all these comments. OP literally said, I wanted peace before my class. That's a pretty obvious kind of, how was he supposed to know when?
After first class.
This has to be the husband.
I knew it would be better after. I told him not 8 hours before how concerned I was about things coming up, and he shrugged like it wasn't a big deal. But he says he had to tell me then. Reply says, don't worry, I get exactly what you're saying. Don't let anyone try and act like your feelings are validated because they are. Yes! One commenter gets it. He definitely 100% could have waited till after class. Any logical person who has basic common sense knows it's your first day back would have waited till after class. LOL. I'm just so confused on how people don't see that. And there is an update. Thank you for that comment.
I have two things here. One, I talked to a family member the other day, and they were like, yeah, so I made my husband ribs and potatoes and this before he came home from work. And I was like, man, you don't even know what a guy out here in LA would do for that. Keon, imagine you go home and you got ribs and potatoes right there waiting for you. Sophia, imagine you go home and you got rice, broccoli, and salmon waiting for you right there.
I don't have to imagine.
That's great.
My boy is very good at cooking.
Your boy?
And they
a boy.
And these people
Go
like
boy.
They sometimes don't understand how like much they have for one another. Like he sometimes brings her things from wherever and is like, here you go. That's just how the relationship works. And I think here, the husband does not realize how much you actually do around the house, and he's just not there for you, and it's just ridiculous.
But there is an update. I have bipolar 2, and I'm usually more depressed than manic. This was mania. I couldn't take my anxiety medication until I was home for the day. I will say that my husband was insensitive, and he admitted as much, but I was making the worst of it. I want to stress that it's hard to recognize it when it's happening, and that's why I have medication that helps. This isn't how I think and act 95% of the time. I'm not blaming my husband for those triggers, and I don't expect him to make them better. It was frustrating to be struggling, and instead of receiving compassion and help, I was given more stress. He doesn't pick up on emotions well, and even when he does, he doesn't know how to respond, which can come off as uncaring. That's something he's been working on. My husband even said we would both be laughing about this soon, and we did on the ride home.
Okay.
All right. I don't trust this.
They made up.
Okay. I didn't recognize it right away because it happens once or twice a year at most. I was really on your side on that.
She's probably very angry when she wrote it out.
Yeah.
She said all the mean things. Like, that's the thing about these Reddit stories is
Sometimes
we're
they're
solely
incredibly biased, and I'm just going based off of what you say.
Oh my gosh. If we could interview these people here, see what they look like, have some sort of relationship with them.
Maybe
like,
we'd know.
if you told me, you're married, you told me what is this exact same thing, I'd be like, Sophia, I know you.
Yeah.
And I know your partner. This doesn't really seem like that. We have zero of that context. We're solely relied onto the OP.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't know she had manic depression. If we didn't know this happened twice a year.
Yeah.
We didn't know they were going to be in the car and be like,
oh, everything's fine. Yeah. But all right. Thanks to therapy, I knew the steps I needed to take to calm down. Reaching out was part of that because I was trying to gauge what went wrong from an outside perspective. I talked it out with my husband on the ride home. We apologized to each other, and we're good.
Right.
He even said that I'm only human and that it was understandable given the level of stress I had been under.
Did he apologize?
Did he apologize?
I'm still upset with him.
For the record, he still hasn't talked to his mom. That means it wasn't urgent enough to bring up in the moment. I am used to having something happen when I start to do things for myself. That has made me expect the worst. In class today, I was met with the best. The instructor was reasonable and welcoming, and I was over-prepared. Part of my issue is not asking for help. A big part of how I was mistreated by my mother was to keep me helpless and reliant on her. I cut contact about 7 years ago and went straight into therapy. It is embarrassing to be almost 40 and still having to learn to do basic things. By the way, it's a really basic thing to listen to full episode stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. There is a teensy-weensy little bit left of the story. Any final thoughts?
Dude, seems like you guys need couple counseling.
Yeah.
I mean, they're doing it, but
Well, it feels like you guys are like fine now, which is good. But also, I'm like, you told us that your husband was not helping you with like the kids at all, really.
And that he would go to his mom every time a problem arrived.
Yeah, like I feel like that's not, unless you were coming from that in like a manic way and it was just focusing on these like minor issues that suddenly seemed a lot larger, then, you know, you guys are chill. But, you know, have that conversation. If you have like real concerns that maybe were heightened, like they aren't so bad, but they're still concerns of yours, let's talk about those.
And two, if you go through this twice a year, maybe you have a game plan.
Yeah, maybe he's like, oh, I know what's happening.
I know in the moment you probably can't communicate that that's what's happening, but if there was like, there just needs to be more systems in place so it doesn't blow up where everyone thinks you guys should divorce.
Yeah. I have great friends. My husband does love me. If I asked any one of them for help, they would have helped me. I get upset that I didn't get it right the first time. I then think no one will understand that it was a mistake and give me grace. I expect them to tell me that it's my own fault for not knowing in advance and that if I can't figure it all out the first try, I shouldn't bother. That isn't reasonable. That's trauma. Again, to stress, this isn't an excuse. It's an explanation as to what was happening. I can't always stop it from happening, but I am responsible for my words and actions when I do. I do have to accept that I deserve some grace. I used to be worse, and I will be working to learn to be better each time. And that's the end of that story. And there we go. Lovely.
Yeah, the thing that really bothered me was you said you were sorry. I didn't really see an
and
apology from
he wasn't
him.
like, oh, yeah, I'll make sure I'm not.
And you put all this stuff on yourself instead of like what he did to help out.
Yeah.
But we have some comments from another story we read recently.
These comments come from the video, I Want to Divorce My Husband and Marry My Best Friend. And this was posted on August 27th, 2025. TLDR, OP's husband let their 10-year-old daughter shave her head weeks before a family tradition, where children turning 10 get their hair dyed for a special celebration, initially claiming it was the daughter's idea after watching a cartoon. When OP's sister-in-law questioned the daughter privately, the truth came out that the husband had actually manipulated and encouraged her to shave as a revenge against OP because the family celebration conflicted with his planned vacation to Greece, using their innocent child as a pawn to get back at his wife and ruin a meaningful tradition that left OP questioning everything she thought she knew about her marriage.
I remember this one.
I remember this one too. Yikes, yikes, yikes. That guy sucked.
Yeah, because we kind of believed
Yeah,
it at
we were
first.
like,
We're
well,
yeah,
you should support your daughter if she wants to shave her head.
And then the truth bomb came out.
we're
We're like,
oh,
whoa!
Yikes.
Well, we do have some comments, and I will go ahead and read those. Comment 1 by KLHMC85. As a mother of a 10-year-old, I can tell you that they are impulsive and don't understand the consequences of choices that they make. The father 100% should have known better. Self-expression is fine. However, you need to think about it for a few days before you jump on it. My son wanted to change his hair to blue when he was 6 at the time. I had him sit on it for a week, and after the week, if he still wanted to do it, he would. He did want it, so we did it. They are kids. Being impulsive is in their nature. It is the parent's job to help guide them, not allow their impulses. I guess that comment is kind of, maybe they got part of the story, because, again...
Oh, they got the first part of the story?
It seems like they only got the first part of the story, because, again, we were on the same thing. We're like, oh, yeah, like, don't do that. But then he did it because...
He did it specifically because he was trying to get back at everyone.
Right. We have another comment
That
by...
is good advice in general.
Yeah. Oh, that's great advice. But, again... When listening to that full story, you're like, whoa, That was not cool, Dad. Comment number 2 by Love Hurts Zinc or Love Hurts Inc. I think an interesting suggestion for the bald child would be to hire a henna artist to do a full cap design and make hubby pay for it.
That's so funny. I think a good suggestion for the bald child.
I think doing an arrow right down the
Yeah,
middle
smart.
would be pretty cool.
And getting them glove fans.
And it's the tradition is to dye the hair blue.
Yes.
Blue arrow.
Blue Arrow. Do you think it was Avatar that the kid was watching?
Oh, about shaving your
Shaving their head?
And then get them
That's the only show I can
glove
think of.
fans.
I mean, maybe there's
glove
something else.
fans.
Glove fan. What?
They're airbend.
Oh,
Yes.
perfect.
And we have a third comment by Lauren McMurdy. And they say, they both can be a-holes. She came home and freaked out, took to Reddit for validation because she wanted to adhere to a family tradition where their child was used as a prop. He is an a-hole for using the child as a weapon against the wife that canceled their family holiday because the family tradition that she definitely needed to shame her daughter into thinking was important.
Yeah, you know what? I kind of agree with that one because I remember she had like a really big reaction and we were like, hey, that's not cool. You know?
Yeah.
You can't take it back.
I think we both agreed, too, that
Yeah.
both the parents were kind of a-holes.
Yeah, I would agree with
on
that
it.
still.
And continuing on that comment by Lauren McMurdy, both of these parents are a-holes. She just thinks that her reasons for using their daughter were better than his.
Oh.
Yeah, that would be true. But that's the end of that and the end of this episode. So if you love us, do you want to say?
No, you got it.
So if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you.
And
see you tomorrow.